Matt Smith, Justin, Nate, Christine Rogium, NBP Margot, Knock, hello everyone. If I can ask everyone to please edit your name, just for the simplicity of where I'm following along, to your first name alongside of your state. So J, comma, Michigan. If we could have you do that, that would be wonderful, please. Hello and welcome everybody. If you can, please adjust your name so that it shows your first name and the state that you're representing. Otherwise, if you are on the executive team or the national board, please identify your board position.
I want to thank everyone for their patience and thank Jay. He's playing dual roles today by being our moderator and handling all this and answering private messages. And it's a very stressful position to be in. So I just want to extend grace and thanks to Jay for all of this. And thank you for your patience. And we'll be getting started here in a little bit. And our goal for the end of this day is to get over 100 people on game night. So challenge accepted. And you guys know you're connected closer to all the people to come on the game night.
Some of us have loftier goals.
Appreciate it, Heather.
It's like, oh,
You're welcome.
1 million.
Let's not push it. Let's do 101.
Oh, 101. Oh, okay.
I don't think our
I just
Zoom
said
can handle
100
100
members. I said 100 members because it's our 100th year. Now, next week, we might shoot for 200, but let's go for 100 tonight.
I love it.
I know Margot and I are happy with 100. And maybe a little nervous.
State presidents, that was my challenge to you guys. Our exec team didn't know about that 100 challenge until I told them after the fact. Goals.
And maybe a little nervous.
Forgive me, I'm checking feeds to Facebook.
Thank you, Jay. The other thing too, guys, so if at the bottom of your screen, there should be a participants button. So if you click that, you'll be able to see all the participants down the side, and in the kind of the chat goes there as well. But that's Your name is probably listed at the top. You're able to click the three dots or the more tab, and you can do rename. And that's where you can rename yourself with your state to help with this whole process. And then in that also is going to show you the hand raising function, the yes and no function, and a few other things, because we will be utilizing some of these opportunities or the polling. Jay will do polling when it comes to getting official counts of votes for things that we talk about today. I just love seeing so many people's faces on Zoom. I remember like 3 years ago, we tried to start doing Zoom calls and go-to meetings, and it's like 2 people showing their faces and then everyone else just calls in on a cell phone. So this is so cool to see everyone's faces, and more meaningful than ever, especially during right now, to be able to see everyone's faces. Okay, while Jay's doing his work, I want everyone, I have to do 2 screenshots, but I'm gonna take photos, but I want you to be aware of it. So I'm gonna let you take the next 5 to 10 seconds to be ready for a group photo. And that way, if we forget about it by the end of this call, we will remember and do it now. So in 10 seconds, I'm gonna do a screenshot here. Oh, Jay's talking, hold on. Okay, perfect. All right, you guys ready? Okay, first group, I'm going now. Yes, okay, and then I have one more group to do over here. And I know you guys don't know which groups you're in, but just smile again as if you're in either group. All right, go. Okay, thank you. Thank you for humoring me.
Okay, there are a couple of people currently that if you have not seen the name, could you please modify your name for us? I just posted in the chat again, should be name, comma, state, or it should be name, comma, position on a national board, if you're a national board member.
I'll go through and call you out. Anna from Montana. I'm kidding. Okay. The list is looking really good.
We're getting there. We still have a couple of state presidents signing in.
Yeah, a national team. Make sure that if your presidents say they're waiting to get on, that they are on the right Zoom call. And I apologize for having to send out the separate number. We are just really trying to mitigate distractions and to do an efficient call with everybody, but also still sharing your opinions and feedback.
Hi, April. Sorry about that. I saw your first one and for some reason it just was not connecting. So thank you for doing that a second time. Couple more here. For those of you that have just joined us, please check the chat box. I'm going to post this one more time. Sorry to pollute your chat box for everybody else. But go ahead and make a modification to your name so that way we can better track the voting process as we go forward. Okay. There we go.
I don't know if anyone saw I posted a video on my Facebook. There's this Canadian comedian that did a funny video where she went back 4 months ago to her January self to warn her kind of about what was happening, but not fully because she didn't want a butterfly affect her life. You guys should watch it sometime today if you haven't. It's pretty funny. But she talks about investing in Zoom, and I'm like, geez, like I really wish that I would have done that even in the beginning of March here.
Okay. Mr. President, I do think that we are situated and set.
Okay.
Would you like to give a word of welcome before I walk participants through
Yeah.
the functions?
Yeah. So welcome everybody. We now have officially pretty much everyone on. Obviously there might be some stragglers, but Jay is gonna just go over some brief tips and tricks regarding Zoom and etiquette online with meetings. And this is something you'll be able to take home and learn and utilize in your personal and professional life, because it's time to be doing Zoom meetings with our families too. So thank you, Jay, Deputy National President Jay, for monitoring this and helping us work through the technology with Zoom, especially when we go from our normal of having 20 people on a Zoom call to 150 to 200 this morning. So thank you so much, and take it from here and teach us a little bit about Zoom etiquette.
Excellent. So welcome everyone to the 21st and a half century. I know a lot of us watched the Jetsons when we were younger and saw people talking to each other on these screens and thought, wow, that'll never be. But here we are. And not only that, but we have 24, 36, 50 some odd people that are on this call currently. So I'm going to walk us through a couple of different things for the purposes of this meeting. This is not going to be an extensive Zoom training, but it will be more of an opportunity for you to take a look at some of the controls and functions that we have as we go forward. The very first is, obviously, a lot of you have seen it. It is the chat function. In the chat function, you are able to send a message to the entire room, but you are also able to send messages privately. So I am currently listed as the host for this meeting. If you are in any way struggling with any of the technology at any point in time, please send me a private message. It comes up separately as a private message. So if it's in the main room, it's possible that I miss it. If it comes in privately, I get a nice big red box that tells me that I have a private message. So I'll be able to help you and we can troubleshoot. In the event that something goes really wrong, I may ask you to step out of the meeting. And then at that point in time, you'll be able to log back in and I can readmit you back into this room. The way that we are functioning forward is that everyone in this room should have speaking rights or voting rights. And the reason that we're doing that is not to exclude anybody else. We are live streaming this on Facebook, so anybody can watch. The purpose for doing this is because of the voting. As we go through this meeting, we're going to have different opportunities to vote. And the more people that are on this call or on the meeting platform itself, it makes it incredibly challenging for us to be able to track all the individual votes that are going through. So it's not intended to exclude anybody. We want to make this as accessible as possible. But for the purposes of having a functioning meeting, that is why we are doing it in that manner. If you look down towards that participant function on the bottom of your screen, you're also going to notice the mute icon. Use it liberally. In fact, generally keep that mute icon on mute as long as possible. If there is somebody that would like to speak, please take a look at the participant icon in your control panel. This is where we can do a majority of the voting for the purposes of today. We were working and playing with some of the polls. You may have seen something like that. And what that was is whether or not we could utilize the polling function, which we will if we need to. However, for the most part, for everything on this meeting, the participant function should be giving you multiple options, which include a green checkbox for yes, a red X box for no. You can tell people to go slower or go faster, but unfortunately I've sat through one too many of the JCI USA board meetings and there is no going faster, friends. So don't even bother touching that button. With that being said, if you want coffee, I can understand that. Go ahead and send that my way. But unfortunately, I can't deliver it to you. I don't have that service installed yet for the business. With that being said, on that screen, you will be able to clear your vote, but I am going to ask you to please not do that. So once we conduct a vote, so for example, if there was a motion, this is not the meeting yet, but if there is a motion to accept the agenda, let's do a quick practice. There is a pretend motion that is not real and it has pretendly been seconded to accept the agenda as presented. All in favor, please signify by voting yes on your participant screen. And please vote no if you do not want to accept the agenda on your participant screen. Once you cast your vote, please leave it. Are we going to have a problem here, Alan? Oh God, you've started a movement. All right. So if you do not have voting rights, please do not vote. It will skew our ability to run through this quickly, and it will be 9 o'clock and everyone will miss game night and the possibility of Brad Paisley showing up at game night. So please don't make that happen. Okay. But as you cast your vote, we will be able to take a look through this and ensure that your vote has been casted and counted. So at this point in time, I will tell you the people that we are missing votes from, just in case you hit the button. We are missing a vote from April. We are missing a vote from Dell. We are missing a vote from Megan. We are missing a vote from Stevenson. So if you have any challenges with your buttons, I would like you to reach out to me privately so that way we can get that taken care of before this meeting starts. Give you just a half a second. It looks like okay, good, good. We're missing one more. Mr. Fine Delegate from New Jersey. Please double check that your button is functioning properly. This is obviously one of the most critical things that we have to do to ensure that everybody's voice is heard. So please bear with us and thank you for your grace on this question.
I'm using a tablet, and then the poll that I have here is still about the sample poll about you. Is that what we're referring to? Because I couldn't.
No, you can actually.
Response.
Yes, you can delete that. I will not be resigning from this meeting.
So Stevenson, once you cancel that out, you should be able to click the participants button and then see your name in the list to the right, and then be able to click the green yes or yellow or red no button.
Okay. Sorry.
And okay, so you've raised your hand in this case. It's the green button for yes and the red button for no. There we go. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. We have conducted our first fake vote for this. With success, we've got 100% voting. Now, I will personally clear all of the votes, so you'll see those things come down. Please do not clear your votes, because if our team here that is calculating the votes hasn't gotten through all of those, we don't have to revote and revote and revote again and again. So we have that. Okay. Let's see. Questions about if you have more than one vote. So your voting strength is calculated, and that's something that Dawn and or Anthony can speak to. In this case, you'll be casting your vote for your different area. If for some reason, and Alan, I will send you a message separately in just a moment. So as you're going through this, if you have any challenges, please send me something in that private message and I'll make sure that it's addressed. There you go. With that being said, on the as of right now, the share screen has been disabled for anybody that is not a host. However, For those of you that are serving in the national board positions, that screen will be shared by President Dawn. We're going to attempt to utilize the function to allow you to control it. We will see how effective that technology is. Again, please be patient. And yep, Susan is back in. Thank you. Please be patient and extend the grace as we will be working through the technology, given that this is literally the very, very first virtual board meeting of JCI USA. So you should all be very proud of yourselves. Does anyone have any questions at this time?
Jay,
If you do,
James,
yes.
James from California was asking if someone wants to abstain. Would we have them like raise their hand or like to not push yes or no or not click anything?
Yes, so what we'll actually end up doing is there is an additional function that actually, you know what? If you're going to abstain, the coffee cup will be abstention. Okay?
Okay.
So the coffee cup will be abstention. Now, if you would like the opportunity to speak, please do so by utilizing the clap function. So if you look at your participant manual right now, you will see that Serena has the clap function that is up there, and therefore I can unmute Serena's microphone and say, hello, Serena, go ahead and say hello to everybody else.
Hello, everybody else.
Was there anything that you did want to add, or were you just clapping
I was
for me?
clapping because everyone was clapping.
Oh, you're the best. Well, thank you for being part of my demonstration then. So if you do have something to say, you can utilize that clapping function. That way I can monitor just the single screen here to try to make sure that I'm getting to everybody. If for some reason you are missed, I can assure you, send me a message or something so that way I can look. I've got like the matrix going on here with screens all over the place. So I will be trying to monitor that as we go forward. I think that should just about cover it.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions at this point? Oh,
Also just
there-
wanted to make a couple of quick announcements. Myself and Chief of Staff Krista are between the three of us, we're trying to take notes and minutes and monitor who's voting, et cetera, et cetera. So if you could be patient, and if we need to say who made that motion or seconded that motion, so we can make sure to get it accurate for the minutes, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Serena, your clap came back up. I want to make sure that I'm acknowledging it.
Oh, I didn't press it. It never went away, I don't think.
That could be my fault.
Are we?
Right.
Is the Zoom being recorded as well as projected?
It is not being recorded. All right.
Newt from Hawaii in the waiting room. Is he sitting in for Hawaii or?
We have somebody, Dell, JCI Hawaii.
All right, Del,
President
could you
Dell's
just
here.
direct him to join live on Facebook? Thanks.
All right. Are we good to start then, Jay?
I believe we are, Mr. President. You may call this meeting to order.
All right, let me get the PowerPoint up. Hold on.
I'm adding a few things here in the beginning. So I call this meeting to order. So you can just put it on screen too, Don, when you get it launched, if you're able to, or it'll just stay like that probably. But I'd like to call our chaplain, Nate Martin from Hawaii, to give an invocation.
All right, aloha and good afternoon, JCI USA. Mahalo to National President Justin for allowing me the opportunity as your national chaplain to provide today's inspirational message. I wanted to share a speech that I gave at another JC event earlier this year. In the 1970 published essay, The Servant as Leader by Robert Greenleaf, it states that a servant leader is servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then choice brings one to aspire to lead. The care taken by the servant first is to make sure that other people's highest needs are being served. As servant leader, focus primarily on the growth and well-being of people and the communities to which they belong. The servant leader shares power, but puts the needs of others first and helps people develop and perform as highly as possible. During these unprecedented times of uncertainty, we as JCs find a way to gather together as servant leaders through any means possible, such as Zoom, to continue to make this organization great and create positive impact for our members, our community, and ourselves. Junior Chamber International has brought us from all across the country to fulfill a common mission, to provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. We spread this mission throughout the world to bring leadership development through community impact, to be servant leaders. As we conduct business today as Board of Directors of the great JCI USA organization, we ask that we are surrounded with positive hearts and minds. We ask that blessings be brought upon every individual present, as well as those watching online or those who couldn't be with us today. We ask that we give special blessings to all those people who are on the front lines during this state of crisis, to those giving their lives and their energies to ensure life continues and people's needs are addressed. A mahalo to everyone for being servant leaders and being part of the greatest young persons organization in the world. I end with a quote by Stephen Aitchison. He says, "You don't always need to understand your journey in life. You just need to trust that you're going in the right direction." Continue to let JCI empower you as it continues to empower me. Aloha and mahalo.
Mr. President, the floor is yours.
I was muted. I didn't. Thank you very much, Chaplain Nate. Can you go back a screen, Don? I had one more thing that because we're not all together, I would like to take a moment to induct the 2020 National Executive Team. And so if my executive team could be present and aware, I would like to record or to state the oath of office and have you guys repeat after me. So you can take you can turn your sound on and be able to participate in that. I'll also be offering a more private opportunity for that, but I wanted to utilize this opportunity where we have a lot of viewers and people because you guys are doing these roles during this unprecedented time, and you deserve this opportunity to take this oath of office. So is everyone ready?
Yes. Sure.
Okay. The office to which you have been elected is one of dignity and importance. In accepting this office, you undertake a responsibility which is not to be assumed lightly nor carelessly discharged. You are charged with the duties of seriously and resolutely furthering the objectives of the JCI USA movement. With the policy and bylaws as your guide, you must be ever ready to exercise the functions of the office with which you are entrusted. Further, you are charged with governing this organization according to the laws of democracy, under which every person who wishes to speak shall be heard. Toward the end that in every matter considered, the best opinion shall prevail through the express will of the majority, and the best course of action followed. Do you accept this charge?
I do.
I do.
All right, raise your right hand and show it on the screen and repeat after me. I state your name.
Anthony Coletti.
Swear at
David.
Do solemnly swear
Do
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office
that I will
faithfully execute the office
of IP
of Membership Development Director
Vice President
of JCI USA
of JCI USA
USA
and will to the best of my ability
And will to the best of my ability
serve as a living example
serve as a
as a
living
living
example
example
of this organization's philosophy and beliefs.
of this organization
and beliefs.
All right, everybody, you are officially sworn in. I am working with other team members to do something as well in addition to this, but I wanted to take this opportunity here with this audience because that is part of your roles, is to be able to take that oath. And you guys are already working your tails off and doing the work. So I wanted to make it official today at this meeting. So next we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to call on Wyoming president to lead us out.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the
of
United
the United States of America,
and to the republic
of which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. Awesome. Okay, great. Now we'll go into roll call.
All right, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a slow and painstaking roll call, but I want you to just bear with me because we're doing a couple of administrative things as well, just to help us through the year. So when I call your state, please say here or present or whatever you would normally say. I'm going to verify the 2020 base membership number as well as the 2020 base number of chapters. I emailed all of that list to you. I think that was on the email I sent on Thursday. If your number does not match my number, that's okay. Just tell me no, and we will connect next week and figure out how to make the numbers match. In addition, I have the list of chapters that have not paid their under 20 invoice for 2020. And so I will just tell you, for example, State of Happiness, you have 2 chapters that have not paid your under 20 invoice yet. And if you have, again, specific questions about that, we can follow up after the meeting. So I appreciate your patience as we go through this, but it's important as we move forward throughout the year. Okay. Alabama, not present. Alaska, not present. Arizona, not present. Arkansas, not present. California.
Present.
James, I have you starting at 189 members and 7 chapters.
Sounds right.
Okay, and all of your under 20 invoices have been paid, so thank you very much. Colorado, not present. Connecticut, not present. Delaware.
Present.
Delaware, I have you starting at 27 members and 2 chapters.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and you do not have any outstanding under 20 invoices. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Florida.
present.
Florida, I have you starting at 196 members and 10 chapters.
Yes.
And you have 3 chapters with under 20 invoices.
Okay.
Okay, Georgia.
Present.
Georgia, I have you starting at 315 members and 13 chapters.
That's correct.
Okay, and you have 1 chapter with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Yep.
Okay, Hawaii.
Present.
Hawaii, I have you starting at 317 members and 6 chapters.
That is correct.
Okay, and all of your under 20 invoices, actually, I don't think you had any, so congratulations. Idaho, not present. Illinois.
Present.
Illinois, I have you starting at 1,137 members and 40 chapters.
That's correct. Yep.
And all of your under 20 invoices have been paid. Thank you very much. Indiana, we have a proxy.
Here.
I won't ask you the members because I know you don't know, but thanks for being here, Mary Jo.
You're welcome.
Iowa.
Here.
Iowa, I have you starting at 433 members and 14 chapters.
That is correct.
And you have 1 chapter with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Okay.
Kansas, not present. Kentucky.
Present.
Caitlin, I have you starting at 134 members and 7 chapters.
Correct.
And you have 1 chapter with an outstanding invoice. Louisiana.
Present.
Okay, Monica, you have 100 members starting and 5 chapters.
Yep.
Agreed?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. And 2 chapters with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Okay.
Maine, not present. Maryland.
I'm here.
Maryland, you have 214 starting and 8 chapters.
Yep.
And you have 1 chapter with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Okay.
Massachusetts, not present. Michigan.
Present.
Sarah, I know we're working on the number of members, and we'll work that out in the next couple of weeks, but you also have 32 chapters.
Correct.
And no outstanding under 20 invoices.
Thank you.
Okay, Mississippi.
Present.
Mississippi, you have 24 members starting and 3 chapters.
Correct.
And 1 chapter with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Missouri.
Present.
Missouri, you have 981 members starting and 30 chapters.
Correct.
And Missouri, you have 1 chapter with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Correct.
All right, Minnesota.
Present.
Minnesota, you have 897 members and 35 chapters.
Correct.
And you have all of your under 20, oh wait, no, hold on. I was looking at the wrong list, sorry. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Montana.
Present.
Montana have 158 members and 8 chapters
Correct.
and 2 chapters with an under 20 invoice.
Working on them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nebraska.
Present.
Nebraska, you have 191 members and 10 chapters.
Correct.
And Nebraska, you have 3 chapters. No, I'm sorry, 2 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
Correct.
Okay. New Jersey, welcome to the team, Stevenson.
Yeah, thank you. Present.
You have 38 members and 3 chapters.
No. Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And one chapter with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
No, it's actually two. Two outstanding
Oh,
invoice.
yes, nope, you're right. There are two. Yep. Okay, perfect. New Mexico, not present. Oh, I skipped Nevada and New Hampshire, but they're not present either. New York.
Present.
New York, you have 147 members and 8 chapters.
Yes.
And you have 3 chapters with an outstanding under 20 invoice.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. North Carolina.
Present.
Derek, you have 411 members and 18 chapters.
That's correct.
And 3 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
Sounds right.
Okay. North Dakota, not present. Ohio.
Here.
Susan, I have you starting with 452 members and 20 chapters.
That's right.
And you have 1 chapter with an outstanding invoice.
Okay, that's right.
Although it's North Columbus and they're at 19 members. So if they add 1 more member and they're at 20, then they don't owe it anymore.
Okay.
Oklahoma, not present. Oregon, not present. Pennsylvania.
Here.
Peter, I know you're a proxy. Do you know the number of members and chapters or not?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have you starting at 438 members and 17 chapters?
That's correct. Yes, thank you.
And no under 20 invoices.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thanks for being here. Not present. South Carolina.
Present.
All right, Fallon, I have you starting at 323 and 15 chapters.
Correct.
And you have 2 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
Okay, thank you.
South Dakota, not present. Tennessee.
Present.
Hannah, you're starting with 246 members and 10 chapters.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have 4 chapters with outstanding invoices.
Thank you.
Yep. Texas. Alan, are you on? I thought I saw him earlier.
Present.
You are. Okay, I have you starting with 382 members and 19 chapters.
Yes.
And you have 3 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
It should be 2.
Okay, we can connect after and make sure that I've got the correct information.
Okay. Thank you.
Utah, not present. Vermont, not present. Virginia.
Present.
Okay, Ebony, you have 242 members and 11 chapters.
Yes.
Okay, and in Virginia, you have 3 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
Thank you.
Yep. Washington.
Present.
Chanel, you start with 40 members and 2 chapters.
Yes.
And you have 1 chapter with an outstanding invoice.
Thank you.
Yep. West Virginia.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Carrie, you're starting with 48 members and 3 chapters.
That's correct.
And you have 1 chapter with an outstanding invoice.
Correct. Thank you.
Yep. Wisconsin.
Present.
Julie, you have 459 members and 19 chapters.
Correct.
And you have 7 chapters with an outstanding invoice.
Correct.
Okay. And Wyoming.
Present.
Lacey, you have 44 members and 3 chapters.
Correct.
And all 3 of your chapters have an outstanding invoice.
I will get with you about that afterwards.
Okay,
And
that
for,
works.
and just for clarification, my last name is Hammett now, not Johnson.
Oh, yes, I do know that. Just things get copied from the year to year. My apologies. Okay, now for the executive committee. President Justin,
Here.
IPP Trisha,
Here.
DNPJ,
Here.
NVP Anna,
Here.
NVP Trey,
JCI empowers me.
NVP Margot,
President accounted for.
there you go. NVP Danielle,
Present.
NVP Joyce,
Present.
NVP Miranda,
I'm not on a cruise.
Legal Counsel Serena,
Here.
Finance Director Anthony,
Present.
Chief of Staff Krista,
Present.
Leadership Development Director Heather,
Here.
Membership Development Director Ross,
Here.
Metro Director Neil.
Here.
All right.
You forgot somebody.
Who did I forget?
Chapter Development Director Emily.
You're right. I marked you here. I just didn't call your name. I'm sorry, Emily. It's at the end of the list. My lines are crossing at this point.
Way to self-advocate.
All right, Mr. President, you have quorum.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. So we'll keep moving along. I need a motion for approval of the agenda.
Motion Miranda.
Motion by Miranda. Do we have a second?
Second, West Virginia.
I have heard West Virginia. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say, are we doing the yes? All in favor say type or click yes. We gotta be really awake on this call for all this action.
You can also click no if you don't want to at the same time.
All those opposed say no.
We're missing a couple of votes still, Mr. President.
Yeah. Overall, it looks like it's approved, though.
The ayes have it.
Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, thank you. We have an approved agenda, Vision 2020. Next, we'll have approval of the minutes. So first, we're going to approve the minutes from September 27th, 2019 from the annual meeting. Do I have a motion?
Minnesota.
Minnesota motion. Minnesota motions. Do we have a second?
Nebraska.
I got a second from Nebraska. Any discussion? All those in favor, click yes. Did we have? Okay. All those in favor, click yes. All those opposed, say click no. Looks like the yeses have it. We have a minutes approved from September 27th. Next, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from December 7th at State President's Retreat?
Michigan motions.
Michigan motions. Do we have a second?
Wisconsin.
Carolina.
I'm gonna have to ask one more time. A second?
Illinois.
Illinois seconds.
South Carolina.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approval, click yes. All those opposed, click no. And it looks like we have approval of those minutes from December 7th. Thank you so much. So next, we have recognition of special guests. And just like,
All right.
yes, Don.
Yep, thank you, Mr. President. Joining us on the call, we have past President Jen Ray, and also Chaplain Nate Martin, who gave our invocation at the beginning. And we already recognized Neil Fitzgerald during the roll call. Did I miss any other guests? And then I also wanted to announce the calculation of votes. We have 66 available votes on the floor. 34 is a majority, 44 is 2/3, and 70 or 75%, 3/4 vote is 50.
Can you repeat that, Dawn?
Yes, 66 votes on the floor. Majority is 34 votes. 2/3 is 44, and 3/4 is 50 votes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, with that said, I think we're going to welcome our past national president, Jen Ray, to talk about celebration of the century.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, JCI USA. It is an honor to be here at your inaugural Zoom Board of Directors meeting. You know, I started putting together a few thoughts for what to say for this report, and I was reminded of something that my mother had said to me when I was very young. Anything worth having is worth working for. And this is certainly not the way that we anticipated having this weekend. This is not the way we anticipated celebrating our very first celebration of our 100th anniversary year. However, JCs have been innovative for 100 years, and we continue to be innovative with the great leadership from your 100th president, Justin Wutzke, from his team, and from all of you as state presidents. This morning, as I know many of you have already seen on Facebook, there were 15 past national presidents that used innovation and technology to make sure that we were able to swear in your national president. And even though we could not do it in person and pass that leadership chain on him, we were still able to come together to celebrate what is a phenomenal occurrence in the life of a national president and being able to swear him in. And that's the type of celebrating that we plan to do with Celebration of the Century. While we're not going to have our party we wanted to this weekend, it just means it's going to be bigger and better when we get to St. Louis in October. There are so many ways that each of you can participate in this celebration. To date, we have had 10 sponsors through the sponsorship program, including 2 organizations, one being the New York JC's Board of Governors and the other, the Ann Arbor JCs. I know that there are many others who are putting together their sponsorship dollars now, and I know now is a very challenging time with the global pandemic going on and unemployment and concerns about current employment. But I encourage each of you, think about it and look into the sponsorship program. It is listed on JCI USA's website. In addition, there are 2 programs that are very important for our chapters to be participating in now more than ever before. One of them being Project Impact 100, impacting at least 100 people in your community. Currently, there are so many ways to do that, through helping with the food banks, helping with organizing blood drives, helping provide masks and sewing masks, organizing food for your neighbors, for your community. There are just so many ways that we can do that. So please, I encourage each of you as state presidents, everybody listening on Facebook Live, look to your chapters as chapter leaders, identify ways that you can make an impact in our 100th anniversary and plan a project that impacts at least 100 people. The other program was 100 awesome people, 100 amazing people going out to interview those individuals in our community making a difference. Well, we're not going to go out and be anywhere close to anybody, but that doesn't mean we can't still identify those people who are making a difference right now in their community. Put them on your Facebook page, advertise them on your website, identify those individuals. Ideally, they're of JCH and they join your organization as well. Even if they're not of JCH, the fact that we as the JCs are promoting the positive things that are happening in our community just means that we are continuing to be that organization of choice that we have been for 100 years and will continue for 100 more, that are making a difference and finding solutions when the rest of the world is simply pointing out problems. There are other ways to be involved. Please go to the website, JCI USA's website, and find those programs. See what it is that your chapter can do, that you can do as a state, and certainly sponsor the celebration of the century. Outside of that, I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in St. Louis for the 100th anniversary for what is going to be a phenomenal celebration with a lot of surprises and a lot of donations coming in from senators across the nation to help make sure that each of you as a member of the JCs have an even more spectacular and fantastic 100th anniversary celebration in St. Louis. Please reach out to me if there are any questions. And President Justin, good luck to you, to the 100th team, and to every single one of you as state presidents for continuing to make a difference, for empowering others, and for being the leaders in your community. Thank you for the time today.
Thank you so much, Past President Jennifer Ray. That was amazing. And I can't wait for us to continue the rollout plans for this amazing opportunity. And this is your guys' charge. Utilize this opportunity to get press releases out and to enhance and share your name. People are at home. They have nothing else better to do than be on social and to hear and listen things out. Now would be a good time to invest a little bit into that paid advertising. But this is your opportunity to showcase your projects, what you're doing, amazing people in your town, and just to blow things out of the water so that you can shine and see your relevance in your community. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great meeting.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. President, just a point of clarification real quick. Could I please ask Interim Executive Director Dawn to use the chat function to share the agenda with the participants just for ease of access? A couple have asked for that, so we'll get that sent out in the chat. It will come as a download. If you are not able to access that, please send me a private message with your email address and I will email it to you directly from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Did anyone have any questions about this celebration of the century? All right.
I am tempted to ask about what would be the potential backup plan if in case that due to the pandemic, it would actually derail the kind of celebration that we're having. What would be the backup plan just in case?
So I think that backup plan is going to be one that we will certainly have to look towards alongside President Justin and the entire national team, and continue to be as innovative as we are currently being. It is one that we have not yet identified, and we actually talked about it this morning with several past national presidents of things that we could do. So that will be forthcoming. And of course, everybody continue to stay socially distanced so that we can come together in October. But it is a wonderful question, and it is one that we do not currently have an answer for, but we will certainly be working towards identifying something to ensure we still celebrate these 100 years. And then maybe just have the in-person phenomenal celebration in 2021 and keep the party going a little longer if we need to.
Yes, that's very true. Any more questions? Oh, there's a chat. There's a request on Facebook to share the sponsorship flyer. Yeah, we can get that on. We can share that. We'll share it in this group, and then we'll share it on there as well for that the flyer on the sponsorship page. Oh, there it is. Or no, that's the agenda. We will get that shared here.
And if I may, one final comment with the sponsorship program, please take a look through it. It was designed so that every person could contribute at any level. So we did design it with keeping in mind that we would have people from every level wanting to contribute. So from $50 to $5,000, and we certainly welcome more than $5,000 if you would like to.
Awesome. All right. Okay, well, thank you so much, Past President Jen Ray. You have a wonderful day, and thank you for spending your day with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have immediate past President Tricia with a message for the Senate report.
Yes, thank you. I just had it open, so sorry. So President Lawrence wrote a little message, and he said, "Thanks for thinking of me and giving me this opportunity. I just had a couple things. The Senate is pleased with and the strides that have been made to strengthen the relationship between our two organizations. We will do everything we can to continue down that path. We want to encourage JC chapters and states to continue to be involved with their senators and ask for our help. We can't do anything unless we're asked. Secondly, we are still planning on having our annual meeting in Greensboro June 21st through the 25th. If COVID-19 causes a delay, we're working on an alternative date of July 12th through the 16th in the same hotel. I appreciate the opportunity I had to serve with you and your team. Tricia, you represented JCI USA and its members well. Unfortunately, my working with Justin has been interrupted, but I believe he and his team for Vision 2020 will be impactful, and I wish to have a strong partnership with him as well. I hope you have a successful meeting as you continue to plan for the year. Remember, I and the Senate are here to partner with the JCs for our mutual benefit. We are stronger together." Thanks.
Thank you so much, Past President Tricia, immediate Past President Tricia, for that. A report from Lawrence, our president of the Senate, JCI USA Senate. Next on the agenda, we have our National Vice President reports, and we're going to start with National Vice President Margot on chapter relations.
Hello, can everybody hear me? Yeah. Well, welcome all you cool cats and kittens. I'm so glad to be here with all of you today. Slide. Of course, all of you know by now, my name is Margot from the great volunteer state of Tennessee, your National Vice President this year. Slide. Justin asked us to talk just a few seconds about what empowers us. And all of you are empowering to me. Seeing everything that you go through, are going through during this time, and you guys still smile, still get out, still come to our game nights, still doing all the things that you're doing in your community, inspires me, empowers me to keep going and doing all the things that I'm doing. You guys are what are empowering me, my JCI family. You guys are awesome. You continue to rock it out and continue to inspire others, because you are what inspires me and keeps me going and gives me purpose to keep doing the work that we do as JCs. So thank you so much for that. Slide. We're going to start off in the area of focus talking about our Junior JCs program with my two rock star program managers, Jamie Nichols and Miss Liz Below. We're currently rebranding and restructuring to make sure it's consistent through all the states. We're working on building an up-to-date database, and they are getting together an information packet to be able to hand out to anyone that's interested in starting the Junior JCs program. They did recently send out a survey. Please fill that out and get that back to them. If you did not get the survey, please reach out and we'll make sure that gets to you. Slide. We also, of course, have our Shoot for Success program. I know with us not being able to meet in person, it might seem that that program right now is not the best, but this is the time to plan for your success. I am doing one-on-one meetings and making plans with chapters to try to work through any issues they're having, any weak points they're having. So please, 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 if you're interested, please give me an email, and we will certainly set you up for success. So when this quarantine is over, we can hit the ground running. Our CLC is still going on, of course. I know things may be a little bit delayed because of COVID. Please just let us know kind of what the situation is. We will take it by case situation. Also, please, I ask you to give us a little grace with getting things approved, as our PM, Ms. Jackie Quashis, is a nurse, and she is on the front lines of this pandemic working very hard. So please, please give us a little grace with those approvals. Slide. Moving into my wonderful states. First up is Mississippi with Miss Megan as our president. They were at growth first quarter with 5 members. They added 2 new members, and President Megan received a much-deserved ambassadorship, and she has also been offering virtual dance classes to keep people moving and involved in her community. Slide. They also had their 3rd annual pub crawl, which had a great turnout. Local chapter president Bethany Miller attended the first inaugural North American Academy and did awesome, and actually blogged about her experiences. It was great. Whit is our program manager. There's a new JC that has this wonderful program going on called Hattie Bird Strong. Please get on and support them if you can. Get a t-shirt. I got mine. It is awesome. They also have the virtual tip jar to support those that have lost their jobs, service people. It's an awesome, awesome thing. If you want to do something like this in your community, I'm sure he would love for you to reach out to him to get some ideas on how to get this set up. Slide. Moving on to wonderful Illinois with President Pat. They added over 50 new members in the first quarter. Woo-hoo to that. They're committed to making sure that they're helping their members adjust to this new normal that we all have with programs such as working from home, the crash course. They brought the Easter Bunny to their community by having the Easter Bunny ride through on the fire truck, which was awesome, awesome for, I'm sure, that those communities. Slide. They also just had their year-end general meeting. You see there, their new Bating chapter is doing their groceries for neighbors, where they go and shop for those that maybe can't get out or shouldn't get out because they're at-risk group, which is very important right now. We also have the Peoria chapter that has their Neat Street Challenge that are really encouraging people to get out there while you're walking and outside, to pick up your neighborhood and post pictures of your nice clean streets. They even just kicked off a toy drive today. So doing awesome things in their community. Slide. Moving on to wonderful California with State President James. They were at growth by 17 this quarter. They added 32 new members, and San Francisco chapter was chartered. Woohoo to him for that. They've been hosting some awesome JCI trainings. Slide. They took their, the Crescent City JCs took their Easter egg hunt to a drive-through, so they're being innovative and making sure they can still offer those family-friendly events. They have some great video series going on, such as Why Did You Step Up into the JCs, that help share our JC stories. JCI Santa Clara is still offering their social opportunities by taking their coffee and connections virtual. So very adaptive, making sure that they get out there. They have some great up-and-coming leaders in California. Can't wait to see what they do next. Slide. Moving on to the great state of Hawaii with President Dale. They added 15 new members this first quarter. They're offering trainings to make sure that their members are planning responsibly. They had a living trust and will training with Lieutenant Colonel John J. Stevenson. And then you also see a picture there with the Hawaii Kai JCs with their annual hike to the lighthouse. So still getting out there and doing the physical fitness. Slide. They also just had their 26 awards and installation banquet. President Justin was there. He was one of their wonderful guests. And we also have one of the Honolulu Japanese chapters that was given a big shout out in a local media story. And then they also had their Senate and Old Timers banquet where they recognized outstanding Old Timers of the year. And of course, pictured there is President Dale and VP Bixby. Slide. Whew, that takes a lot. Moving on to Virginia with President Ebony, they added 10 new members in this first quarter. They are a very important resource for their community, making sure they get as much information out that they have as possible. Slide. One of their wonderful members has started a FB page called Neighbors Helping Neighbors there in Arlington that to date right now has almost 9,000 members that are coming together to help each other through the COVID-19 outbreak. Awesome. And he is also running for position on the Arlington County Board. So he is doing big things there in Arlington. Shouts out to him. State President Ebony was also part of the inaugural class of the North American Academy and is coming back and sharing a lot of that information with her state. They also just had their 2020 winter convention where they did one of our Impact 100 projects where they filled bins with household items for individuals and families at Samaritan House. Slide. I'm also assigned to Rhode Island, Arkansas, and Kansas. These are states that are under construction right now, but Arkansas is up and going. They were at growth this first quarter with 15, with plus 15, and they added 16 new members. So they're well on their way to getting up and going. So woohoo to them. Rhode Island and Kansas, stay tuned. Hopefully we can get those up and running as well. Slide. To end, again, my wonderful states, all my state presidents and their boards, they're what keeps me going and what empowers me. So keep doing what you're doing, JCI USA, because you are rocking it out. End of report.
Thank you so much, MVP Margot. Next, we will have NDP Miranda Williams come and discuss communications in her states.
All right. Am I able to click this like we practiced yesterday, or?
You'll need to request the controls, Miranda.
Okay. All right. All right. Hello, JCI USA. As far as what empowers me, like I've said so many times, this is my safe zone. This is my family. This allows me to to recognize my full self and to embrace my full self, my faults and my weaknesses, and turn my weaknesses into strengths. And right now during this pandemic, having this network has been super amazing because we have met so many people that we wouldn't normally, that wouldn't maybe come to conventions and stuff. I know these live videos have been great for that. And so I'm super thankful to have this network right now. And so we have the team JEDIs for Vision 2020. This was a picture of our state presidents at State President's Retreat. All right, Jay, it's not doing, somebody else can just click it. There we go. And click it again. All right, so I am the National Vice President over Communications. In my area, we have the biggest successes have been on Leadership Live, and we do that's on Facebook every Thursday. It's we interview one person in the JCs, talk about different topics each week, and that has been super successful. Membership spotlights, we are spotlighting our members every Sunday on Sunday. So we've gotten so many of those that I'm thinking about we're having to do more than one on Sunday, which is great because sometimes it's hard to get those. So if you have a member that's in your chapter that's doing outstanding things, definitely send them to me and they can, there we go. And then we're also doing the Flashback Fridays on Facebook and Instagram. So we've gotten all of our social media accounts up to date and active again. And under me, we have program managers Lee Snow, who is over digital innovations, and Jesper from California, who is over PR. So if y'all need help making logos or videos, feel free to reach out to one of those guys. They are great help. Okay, you can click it, Dawn. Thank you. All right, you can press now we'll go into my states. In Minnesota, President Gwen, she had a great start to the year. She traveled a lot, beginning with a convention in January. And then the very next week, she went to the Brainyards $150,000 ice fishing extravaganza. And for those of you that don't know, that's the largest charitable ice fishing tournament in the USA. Then they started spearheading relief efforts for JCI Australia after their wildfires. Then they had members go to North American Academy. Since the pandemic has started, they've been attending virtual trainings online. The Bemidji JCs did an Egg Your Yard in lieu of their normal Easter egg hunt. JCI Hopkins did a Rolling with the Bunny, where they put an Easter bunny in the back of the truck and rode through town. And then on to South Carolina. My video is going faster than I can talk. That's unusual. President Fallon there's her getting installed in her banquet, but she had a super successful convention at the beginning of the year where President Fallon was sworn in. They took some of the trainings that we did at State President's Retreat. There was pictures in there about where she was walking barefoot with rat traps. They used it as trust exercises, and they've had members attend both North American Academy and the Nothing But Net Summit in DC. Currently, they've got a virtual 5K that they're planning to show up in June. There they are. The North Dakota JCs, the rugby chapter, we only have the one chapter there, but we're excited to make a connection with them. They had a virtual Easter egg hunt as well. And they said that this is the best, the strongest that their year that their board has ever been. So that's exciting. And they're also doing a Rugby Strong community campaign where they're helping members of the community through the pandemic. There's their Easter egg hunt. The Wyoming JCs, President Lacey, she has been doing amazing things with her team in Wyoming. I know they had several members go to North American Academy, so she was super excited to see the members get excited about future leadership positions. In Saratoga, they had their annual ski journey, and Johnson County did a dodgeball tournament. And then Sheridan JCs did a run until you're green. And they've also done paint nights and socials pre-quarantine. There's their paint nights. They've also done a lot of the virtual stuff too. So in Nebraska, they were at growth first quarter. State President Christie was just recognized by her local news station. I don't know where her pictures went. By her local news station for doing an outstanding job right now because she's super busy processing unemployment claims. And then she's still doing a great job as state president of Nebraska. They also had some members attend North American Academy, and the Nebraska City JCs pre-quarantine held murder mystery socials. The North Platte was able to do their put-in, and the Omaha JCs hosted their 2019 Top Outstanding Young Omahan. I don't know how y'all would say that. That was all before the social distancing. Since then, the COZAD JCs also did an Egg My Yard event, and they've been very active in the game nights and trainings as well. And then on to Indiana, JCI Lanesville was at growth by 15 members last quarter. And then LaPorte raised over $1,000 for their Pi Day event, which unfortunately was canceled. But either Dawn or DMPJ, can one of y'all make our proxy MJ the spotlight? They did they raised $1,034 for their Pi Day event. They were going to pie themselves. But since it was canceled because of the social distancing, both Proxy MJ and MDD Ross has agreed to pie themselves right here, and then that'll be the end of my report.
Hold on, I
I
gotta
am-
get my pie ready.
Okay,
Give me
we'll let
1
Ross
second.
go.
I was gonna say, give me 1 second and I will have that done.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. Okay, spotlighted.
All right, there's MJ.
Can you give me control of my screen back?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Even though I was still controlling it, but
I don't know why I couldn't.
perfect, thanks.
You're welcome. Are you ready, MJ?
Yeah, I'm ready. Do you see my pie?
Yes, we see it.
I don't see Ross on here.
We have to go separately.
Oh,
So
dang.
you go first.
I think Ross should go first so we know that he actually does it.
He'll do it. 1, 2, 3, go. There we go, for $1,000 raised for Pi Day for LaPorte JCs. Now we'll spotlight Ross, please, DMPJ.
All right.
Right,
Ready? I promise that I have a sheet down, so I'm not going to tear my house up, but it's too cold to be outside, so I envy you, MJ, for being out there. Here's my pie. Miranda, you want to count?
1, 2, 3, go. He got a good one.
I did.
Thank you. And that is the end of my report for Indiana. I'm super proud of them as well.
Thank you so much, MVP Miranda. And I love that you were able to get fun and creative with your team members. Thank you for all you do with communications. And as again, on our website, we have the thank you tab that you can go in and submit information to notify and talk about your chapters and your members' outstanding opportunities. And Miranda can make sure that those are showcased for us on our social. Next, we'll have MVP Trey Jenkins talk about member relations and his states.
Thank you, President Justin. I actually have a video, so I'm going to say this real quick. For those of you watching at home, shout out to Pickle. I love you. I know you're out there watching. Thank you. And we can go ahead and roll that beautiful footage.
Good afternoon, JCI USA. Trey Jenkins here from South Carolina, your 2020 MVP over member relations. Under the area of member relations is our Passport to Civic Leadership Program, the Diversity Council, our chaplain, and the Membership Development Director. I also have some amazing state presidents who've stepped up to the plate in 2020 to share their Vision 2020 to their local chapters as well as their communities to help create a lasting impact in 2020 and beyond. So next on deck is State President Hannah from Tennessee. Let's go.
All you cool cats and kittens, it's President Hannah here from Tennessee with just an update about what's been going on in the volunteer state. In early March, Cookeville endured some pretty serious storms and tornadoes, but I'm thankful for the way that the Tennessee JCs, as well as JCs from around the nation, stepped up to help that area in need. Whether it was your time, money, or goods, I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for stepping up and helping. Since then, COVID-19 has had us canceling a lot of events. But I'm very proud of how our chapters in Tennessee have stepped up to help their communities. Last week, I was able to help the Knox County JCs pack 600 food boxes for mobile meals. Way to go, guys. That was amazing. We've had to cancel a lot of events, our first quarter conference being one of them in May. And I'm very sad, but I'm very thankful to be in an organization that puts the health and safety of their members before everything else. So I hope you guys are safe at home, and I'm enjoying being together with you in spirit. Stay safe, everybody. Come see us real soon.
Hey everyone, it's Jennifer from Missouri. Wanted to share some things that our state is doing this year to bring our vision to reality. Shout out to President Ratty Walker of the Portersville JCs for being motivating and positive during this time. Shout out to Martha Mazzola, Individual Development Director of the St. Charles JCs, for keeping their members engaged. I want to give a shout out to President Ben of the Jackson JCs for engaging his members, and to President Jared from JCs for his excitement and leadership skills, and to my state team for stepping outside the box to help our members in our state bring our vision to reality this year. Love you all, miss you. Bye.
Hey, Chanel from Washington, and I wanted to reach out and let everyone know about what we are doing in the state during this crazy time. Our Pasco JCs were able to make a $500 donation to Helping Hands to assist with the purchase of toiletries, canned goods, and basic necessities for senior individuals that, due to certain medical reasons, were not able to leave their homes during this time. Washington State as a whole has been trying to brainstorm ideas on how to capitalize on both the influx of social media use as well as the downtime for those individuals that are not considered essential personnel in the state. We're essentially just looking forward to getting back to normal. So in the meantime, wash your hands and stay safe.
Hey y'all, Anna from Montana here. Just want to share some great things happening throughout my state. Our Havre JC's team was able to transition their annual Easter egg hunt into a painted rock hunt this year. Our Miles City team was able to continue with their annual tradition of Egg My Yard and bring Easter happiness to 22 families within their community. Our Central Montana team has had a lot going on, but probably the biggest accomplishment was a $500 donation to rural first responders for the purchase of some PPEs. Now, as a state, we are launching a May Day basket hunt, so watch for more information to come on that. Hope you all stay safe.
Hey, JCI USA, it's Brent Young, and I am the diversity chair for this year, 2020. I had to wear my pimped out outfit that I was going to wear on the cruise ship, so you guys get a glance of seeing it. I know, right? It's really nice. And I apologize for the dog barking, but that's what it is. We have been meeting. We've got a nice selection of folks on board and ready to put some good ideas to use in regards to diversity and inclusion for JCI USA. If you are interested, we're still taking people that would like to get on board and help us out. Even if you have great ideas to share, I would greatly appreciate that. Just send it to byoung@JCI USA. And just send me a quick email and just say, hey, Brent, my work is doing this, and I would suggest us, doing this as well. We've had several different meetings. Those meetings have been very, very informative. And we have a meeting coming up on the 26th. We're going to talk some more about some details, and we've got some awesome things coming. Unfortunately, life happens and some things have happened. So we're trying to get back on board. But we look forward to having more of a plan in place very, very soon and sharing that with you and JCI USA. Thank you so much for your time, and you guys have a great, great weekend.
Aloha, JCI USA. My name is Nate Martin from the great state of Hawaii, and I'm honored to be serving as your JCI USA chaplain for 2020. We know these are unprecedented times of uncertainty. So me as your chaplain, I'm here to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to continue to be positive and to stay strong. I also have a chaplain's Facebook page in which I am also posting daily inspirational messages for you as well. I also wanted to give a shout out to our Gratitude to Humanity campaign. It's an opportunity for us to give thanks or to show appreciation to our frontline staff or anyone who just needs a word of encouragement. So if you wanted to be partaking in this initiative, we ask you to visit our website at jciusa.org/thanks. Again, you can contact me via social media, via phone, or on my email at chaplain@jciusa.org. Otherwise, it is my honor to be serving as your chaplain. Continue to stay strong, be safe, and aloha.
Hi, JCI USA. My name is Parker Thurnbeck. I'm your program manager for Passport for Civic Leadership. I'm from JCI, Iowa. I've been a member for about 6 years now. I think that being active with the JCs is great, and the best way to move through the ranks and better yourself individually is through Passport for Civic Leadership. We talk about being active citizens, engaging individuals. This is the best way, in my opinion, to be active, and it's the best roadmap for you to better yourself as a JCI member. If you have any questions regarding Passport to Civic Leadership, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can either call me at 319-361-2286, or you can send me an email at passport@jciusa.org. Thanks.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for that report, MVP Trey. I loved your creativity and being able to showcase all those people's personality and kind of report from what they're doing, and it gives them that platform. And that's what we're all about in JC. So thank you so much. Next, we'll have MVP Joyce talk about advancement and her states.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So my team is called Team Action. This is part of my campaign as a MVP, which was active citizens that impact our nation. And I truly believe that's what we are as JCs, especially during these times. Trying to control the slides, but it's not letting me. So let me try one more time. All right, so Don, I might have to just give it back to you. And I'll give up remote control. All right. So again, just wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone for all you do within the JCs and for your communities. And I'd like to introduce Team Action to all of you. Next slide, please. All right, so with my area of focus, I oversee sponsorships as well as the 10 outstanding young Americans. And Jaquita Thompson is our sponsorship program manager. Just a few updates for you guys. I'm sure, as you could see, we're going through a global pandemic right now. Times are tough for everyone. So although we've had a lot of leads for sponsorships, we've actually hit a little bit of a roadblock. However, the team is amazing. And so we have had a partnership proposal sent to State Farm, and Jaquita is currently in discussion with Coca-Cola, as well as the rest of the sponsorship committee, namely Stevenson and Ria Serrano. They have approached other individuals and corporations to obtain sponsorships. So I will share with you the link to the sponsorship packets that we have. We do have packages available for individuals as well as the corporate level. And we'd love for all of you to join us and support us. All of the sponsorships that we're able to gather through this committee will benefit our Toya event as well as our national convention meeting in October. And with that, my other area is the 10 outstanding young Americans. Sorry, Don. And so I just want to do a shout out to the two co-program managers. We have Jenny Even from Iowa, as well as Jess Kling from Maryland. We have received 25 nominations to date. I do ask each of you here today to please send in your nominations. We have nominations open until May 9th. Any questions regarding nominations or the form, or need help submitting nominations, please email the team at toya@jciusa.org. And we look forward to receiving more nominations from all of you. All right, next slide, Don. Thank you. So I have the pleasure of working with Iowa and State President May Lee. So we just wanted to give a shout out to all the amazing members out there. We have a few members celebrating their 15th year anniversary, 10th year, 5th year, and quite a few of them that had to make 2 columns for the 5th year anniversary people. Just want to thank you all for your dedication and commitment to JCs and to JCI and for all you do. So we'll do a few more shout outs for all of the states that I'll be featuring today. Next slide, please. So these are just some of the few pictures that highlight how our Iowa JCs have been taking action in their communities. So they did have their state board meeting as well as their national convention earlier in the year, and they had the pleasure of having National President Justin attend. And they've continued to do, social events prior to the quarantine. However, as you could see, they've actually embraced the virtual platforms and being able to hold their virtual happy hours as well. And still having that, great relationship with the members. So hopefully this encourages everyone on the call today to be able to explore other options and, focus on the opportunities and not the challenges. Next slide, please. And up next is President Caitlin from the great state of Kentucky. And we also have a few members there celebrating their 10th year anniversary and 5th year anniversary. So shout out to all these amazing members for all you do. And next slide, please. So State President Caitlin was able to conduct an JCI effective leadership training earlier in the year, and they were able to host a few social events as well as doing a Valentine's Day with residents at a Greenwood nursing home. And although now we're being prevented from, visiting nursing homes and hospitals, I think we need to grab the opportunity to be able to do something for those places virtually, maybe gathering a few of our members to send cards or gift bags, gift cards, or meals. So just wanted to highlight that the things that we were doing before the quarantine, we could still do. There are virtual ways of doing them, and we could still continue to pull together as an organization and as a community to spread that positive change and positive energy. So thank you guys for the inspiration. Next slide, please. And from the great state of Louisiana, we have President Monica. And first, before I do a shout out to the members that are celebrating their anniversary, I do want to thank Monica for her service to being one of our frontliners out there. So she is out in Louisiana. As you know, Louisiana is one of the states that's been hard hit with COVID-19, just like New Jersey, my home state, as well as New York. And she's out there in the front lines and still being able to do the best that she can to serve our organization. So please, give her a virtual round of applause and many thanks for all she does. And again, thank you to the members that are celebrating their anniversaries. And we hope to continue to see more of you being active and staying strong with JCI. Next slide, please. All right, so these are just some of the things that Louisiana has done in their communities this first quarter. And again, we continue to empower ourselves to be the leaders that our community and our world needs right now. So Christian Gray, one of our chapter presidents from Ponchatoula chapter, was able to join the North American Academy and was able to graduate from that. And they've been able to host a few events, and their Farmerville chapter was also able to do a Battle of the Paddle event, Mardi Gras event, before the pandemic started. However, they did not stop there, and they were still able to support our community through one of their chapters, being able to donate to a local brewery that's making hand sanitizers to be able to give to those in need right now. Next slide, please. Okay. And we have President Christine from the state of Maryland. So they have quite a few members also celebrating their anniversary. Again, thank you to all these members as well as President Christine. She was actually given her senatorship last month, and I had the pleasure of being there in person to witness it. And she is just amazing. She is one of the most amazing educators out there that I know, that's being flexible with this pandemic right now as well. So thank you for holding the fort. And we know it's not easy. Us having to do remote learning for our children is definitely a huge task, and you're able to support that while being able to continue your work with the JCs. So thank you. All right, next slide, please. Maybe it's just me. There's a delay on the slides. All right, thank you. So the Maryland JCs are definitely out there busy in action. They were able to also have the pleasure of National President Justin visiting them at a networking night and during their Read Across America events. And they also had their Random Acts of Kindness week through the Salisbury JCs. And they did a cooking for the homeless for the, with the Annapolis JCs. And again, they just, this chapter, the Salisbury JCs chapter shows us that there's so much that we could do virtually. Let's not stop there. The Random Acts of Kindness can continue with a simple thank you to our frontliners. You'll see it on the slide here that they created this poster, just as a simple thanks. And honestly, as those that are considered essential workers, it means a lot to us whenever we see things like this. And it does motivate us and empower us to continue serving. So thank you guys. And they've also embraced Zoom membership meetings, just like a couple of other chapters. All right, next one. Okay. My next state and final state that I'll be featuring is the great state of Texas with President Allen. So they have a few members celebrating their anniversary, but the most important one here is they are at membership growth with one new beautiful baby girl. President Allen welcomed a beautiful blessing into their family right there in that picture, baby Freya. So I just want to wish him well and his growing family. All right, next slide, please. And here are just a few of the things that they've done. So they did a Stop the Shooter training with their San Antonio JC's chapter. And one of their chapters was able to fix the local community baseball field. And also they had their huge rattlesnake roundup annual event through the Sweetwater JCs. This is an amazing event that they do each year. So if ever you guys are interested, definitely an event to check out for Texas. And the Houston International JCs, my apologies, was able to do a community food bank event. And as of this weekend, they had actually reached out to me and want to be able to help the states of New York and New Jersey and a few other states to provide the PPE, the protective gear that our frontliners need right now. So they're just another way that they're showing that we can still continue to take action and be active in our communities, even though we're in quarantine or going through this pandemic. And they were also able to, the Mission in Texas JCs were also able to donate some goods and relief goods to our neighboring state of Tennessee during the hurricane or tornado that they had experienced last month. So thank you guys for all you do as well. And next slide, please. So I do have a few states that are not, here or not featured. It's because they are also under construction, like MVP Margot had said. South Dakota currently has 13 members, but they don't have a state organization. And I have the states of Oklahoma, Maine, and Colorado who are building themselves to hopefully have active chapters by the end of this year. And if you know anyone in those states, please do reach out to me so that we could connect with those potential members. And next slide, please. And here, just wanted to highlight again that, we are stronger together. And I just want to thank all of you for all of your commitment, dedication, and passion in leading your chapters, your states, and our organization. We will get through this pandemic, and just stay strong, stay positive, and let's continue to create that positive change. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, MVP Joyce. And thank you for everything you're doing on the front lines and the work that you guys are doing to make masks and medical equipment. Joyce and her sponsorship team are doing great work to get us looking at talking to corporations and getting funding to JCI USA. And it's all behind the scenes, but thank you so much for showcasing that so we can learn and see that all that work is actually happening behind the scenes. Next, we'll have National Vice President Danielle Fields give her report on partnerships and her area and her states.
Hello, everybody. Whoever, is this Dawn or Jay running? If not, when you think it's time to go, it probably is. I am a lady of few words. So just move forward without me having to trigger you or whatever. JCI empowers me every day to be a better version of myself and confront new challenges head on while I'm learning to communicate better and in an easier to understand format. I'll definitely add that over the last year specifically, I have been amazed by the friendships that I have developed through times of crisis and tragedy, both personal and nation and worldwide. So I'm very grateful for this organization. This year I am in charge of partnerships. So I want to tell you a little bit about the ones we have and then introduce a potential new partnership area. Nothing But Nets is one of our largest partnership areas. This year we had 52 register to attend the Nothing But Nets Summit in DC on March 8th through the 10th. And we just caught being able to go without having interference from COVID-19. So in fact, 41 attended because several dropped due to travel restrictions in their areas. So we're very grateful to have had that experience. April 25th is World Malaria Day, and while opportunities have changed, we want you to use this time to fundraise and raise awareness for the impact that malaria is having every day around the world, and even here at home through our soldiers. We also want to give a really big shout out to JCI Collinsville in Illinois for raising $1,000 for Nothing But Nets through their Pi Day initiative. This year, Hobie is going to be changing a little bit, and we're still not exactly sure what that's going to look like. Before I forget, our program manager for Nothing But Nets is Chris Dimmer, and he has done an amazing job this year. So if you have any questions about Nothing But Nets, please reach out to Chris. Hobie's program manager is Ryan Henry from the great state of Tennessee. We are still not sure how Hobie's going this year. Some states have already decided to move to a virtual format. Some states are still hoping to keep their in-person seminars. Either way, state presidents, we have given your email addresses to our Hobie team, and they will be reaching out to you seeking some volunteer help potentially, or just some speakers. So if you get emails, please follow up with them. This is a really great opportunity for your state to recruit and to build relationships with other young professionals looking to make creative change, positive change. So please respond, make contacts in your states, because this is really a recruitment tool for you and also an opportunity for us to serve with them. In the past year, we have had several smaller partnership area opportunities that have not been either communicated well or have not been, we haven't actively participated with. So this year, one of my goals was to simplify and give us partnerships that everyone wanted to participate in and were easy for states and chapters specifically to participate in at their local level and feel buy-in to. So what we wanted to do was reach out to all of you through a survey and ask you what area, what topic, what theme do you want JCI USA to offer as a partnership opportunity. So we sent that survey out in January. If you'll go to the next slide. So we had 178 responses. I really wanted about 500. We specifically reached out to state presidents And then when we were at the Nothing But Net Summit, we asked all participants to participate in this survey. Throughout the entire process, the stats have been about the same as far as what was suggested. So we are presenting to you, the Board of Directors, the National Project Area of Mental Health and Suicide Awareness and Prevention as another opportunity. As a part of this, we have a UNICEF chair. Because UNICEF is not an official partnership, we have asked Program Manager Terry Bartley to move and transition into this realm. So he is working on that now, and he will be putting together a committee to find areas and ways that we can, as local chapters, as states, and then also as the national organization, work with young people and provide opportunities that help them better themselves and ultimately prevent both suicide and problems with mental health illnesses and just struggles for all of us. So that is what I am suggesting. We want your feedback, and we will either be adding this to our strategic plan, or we will be reaching out to you guys for an official vote in October, and we want feedback. So please let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you have any insight into it, or if you would like to be a part of the committee that Terry Bartley is putting together. So for my states, I represent several great states. The first is JCI, Florida. And we're just going to give out shout outs. I'm keeping it simple. Brett Hogan is from the Lake Placid JCs. He is currently the logistics section chief in the Highlands County and is over resource ordering, communications, mass care, and staging areas. So he's currently coordinating with the State Emergency Operations Center to get supplies and PPE for first responders, hospitals, nursing homes, and assisted living facilities. So we're super proud of the work that he is doing. President Mindy also wanted to give a special shout out to former Hollywood JC Jillian Pickett. Jillian took over the executive director role at an assisted living home in Illinois about 45 days before COVID-19 arrived. So she is getting broken into her position in a very unique way. And she's currently working with directly with COVID patients while overseeing and leading staff. We are super excited for New Jersey to be at +9 growth in the first quarter. They are doing a lot of great things there. The Philippine American New Jersey JCs are currently making masks and meals for first responders. If you'll go to the next slide. And they have been busy. I see probably 2 to 3 times a week posts from this chapter where they are continually making large donations of meals and masks to area partners. Our shout outs for New Jersey are Jason Andes with the Philippine American chapter. He has stepped into a leadership position this year and has been very visible at events. Larissa Chronic of the Greater Atlantic City JCs has been actively recruiting while serving as president. So we're super proud of them. On to North Carolina. The Cary JCs are doing virtual bingo nights as a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club. And they did a great thing with that. So if you haven't checked them out, don't hesitate to reach out to them so they can tell you how they did it. And they did that recently. Roxborough is raising funds to deliver food to essential workers. They've got some great graphics too that I'm sure that they would be willing to share. Just community commitments to their local first responders and teams. The Winston-Salem JCs also did a chili cook-off fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club there prior to this. This has not been in the last month. Our shout outs for North Carolina are Andrea Schrift with the Gaston County JCs, who is also serving as Vice President for the North Carolina JCs. She attended North American Academy, organized a blood drive for her local chapter, and continues to serve as a VP for the state. Shannon Shuey is currently working to revive the Central Carolina JCs. And Sunny Minton with Greenville JCs led up their oyster roast project and was just named a woman to watch in Greenville. West Virginia has a lot of growth going on. I got to meet with one of their chapters last week, and it's just really exciting to see everything that's going on in West Virginia. Their shout outs are Isaac Snuffer from Parkersburg area JCs. He has stepped up to lead the chapter and has driven some really innovative projects during COVID-19 pandemic. Isaiah Lacey of Madison Danville was instrumental in putting together the annual haunted house, and his passion is just really infectious and helps motivate members to carry on through very long nights with that haunted house. In Wisconsin, we have a lot of COVID-19 projects going on. Lake Geneva JCs gave a very covered Easter egg giveaway in their area. The Broadhead JCs had an Easter egg delivery and teddy bear hunt. And they did a really great job with that teddy bear hunt if you want to stalk them on Facebook as well. For their shout outs, Christopher Solon has stepped up and taken a lot of extra time to organize and improve the state awards there in Wisconsin. And he's always willing to lead and lend an extra hand in both local and state events. Lindsay Langer is energetic, hardworking, and a positive leader for their chapter, the Lacrosse JCs, and she embraces the motto, "The Earth's great treasure lies in human personality." Lindsay is also active on the local and state level. So that is my spiel for the day. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and especially if you have feedback on our potential future sponsorship path.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, MVP Danielle, for your report and your initiatives to try to push our membership interests into directions that that our members care about, and projects and partnerships that we can work with in those areas. And then finally, we have MVP Anna Price over Impact.
Hello, JCI USA. As you can see, I have Team Anna's Bananas. So next slide, please. How JCI empowers me. I had this whole speech planned out about how JCI empowers me for today, but I changed it because today has empowered me. Today has empowered me to go out and continue doing the good things that we do and to continue to advocate for our organization. So I want to thank all of you for empowering me today. Next slide. So I have the impact area, and one of the programs under that is in the ambassadorships, and program manager Amy Klaus. She will be reaching out to all of the state presidents to try to garner some interest in presenting these ambassadorships. The ambassador, if you don't know, is the highest award that you can get as a JCI USA member. So it is a very prestigious honor, and we're going to try to raise awareness of the ambassadorships this year. Awards for 2020, our program manager is Mary Ann Jenkins. And of course, right now we are still working on the 2019 awards. And I just want to give a shout out to the 2019 team for working through a lot of the challenges that we've had. You know, we should have been presenting awards on a cruise right now, but you know, unfortunately, we can't. So we are working forward and working through some of those challenges. And I just want to thank everyone for your patience and your grace during this time while we figure out how to still show the importance of the things that people did in 2019. We also have competitions, same thing, competitions. Go back to the other slide, sorry. Competitions, we're going to be working through some things, but right now too, we've learned a lot with using different platforms, different media platforms to be able to do things. So I think we can really use that during competitions as well. During our breakout session today for Comfort Zone, we talked about, they gave impromptu speeches, and that's part of a speak up competition. So it was really cool to see that and kind of tie that in there too. And senatorships, of course, also same thing as ambassadors, trying to push, you know, recognizing your members that have gone above and beyond in their JC career with a senatorship. Okay, next slide. And moving on to my states. So we have Delaware, led by State President Sola, and they hosted a very successful Eastern Institute meeting in Rehoboth Beach. And that was probably one of the last weekends before the country shut down that people could gather. They had a great time. Their chapters are meeting virtually, and they had 2 new members in Q1. Next slide. Georgia, led by State President Allen. They held, and I see I have a typo on here. I used the wrong form of there, which is one of my pet peeves, so I'm eating some humble pie right now. They held their year-end convention in Savannah in February, and I was honored to be able to attend that convention. They had some amazing speakers during their morning session, and their chapters are doing some great things. The Savannah JCs have a lot of up-and-comers in the Savannah area, so I see some great things coming from Savannah. The Columbus, Georgia JCs, the Milledgeville, the Gray JCs, Swainsboro, they all had some really cool things. And they do have a new chapter that's in the works. Of course, the pandemic has slowed some of that down, so we will still be working on that. President Allen did want to give a shout out to the Swainsboro JCs. They donated tablets, speakers, and stands to some local nursing homes so that their residents will still be able to have visitors virtually with family. So shout out to them. And they also added 12 new members in Q1. Next slide. The Michigan JCs, led by State President Sarah. Michigan has done some really cool virtual opportunities. Most of their chapters are doing something virtually at this point. The state did a Bunny and Me Magically, which was having pictures with the Easter Bunny when you couldn't physically be there. JCI Kalamazoo had a virtual Easter egg hunt. JCI South Kent did a Zoom murder mystery event, which seemed really cool, and I want to take a part in one of those. The Wyandotte had a Spirit Week, so each day they had different things to post on their Facebook page. And Ann Arbor did a lip sync and dance off. Michigan also, during our lunch break, did a dance party. So I joined them for a few minutes and was able to get a workout in a little bit while our lunch break. They did add 35 new members in Q1 as well. Next slide. And JCI New York, led by State President April. JCI NYC has held a lot of different virtual Q&As with guest speakers. They've had some really informative people. I was on one where they had a doctor that kind of explained a lot about the COVID-19 and really broke it down into layman's terms, so it was a lot easier to understand. And they've also helped facilitate some JCI trainings, admin and impact a few weeks ago. And New York was +1 for the first quarter, so they are growth and added 9 new members. Next slide. Ohio, led by State President Susan, they had 33 new members in Q1. They will be hosting the Mid-America Institute meeting, and it was supposed to be in June, but they're probably going to be moving it later on in the year. And if any of you haven't seen, President Susan has been a part of a movie, an independent movie that is actually on Netflix, and I believe the name of it is Code 8. I might be wrong, but check that out because she actually has a bit part in it as well, and she has been part of the production and everything from the start of that movie, so that was really cool. Next slide. My other states that were assigned were Massachusetts, Oregon, Utah, and Vermont. Massachusetts, the Foxborough chapter is very active. They did a 3-hour Easter Bunny tour where the Easter Bunny rode around in a convertible for 3 hours around different neighborhoods saying hello to children. So I thought that was really cool to highlight some of the things that they're doing during this pandemic. Next slide. So our top bananas for the team, and Christian, I'm sorry if I butcher your last name, but Christian Zillberg from JCI NYC, he's their president, and he has been the driving force behind a lot of their trainings they've been doing and their speakers, and he's been really doing some great things, as well as the JCI NYC chapter. They've been reaching out to some of the other New York chapters, Manhattan and Philippine New York chapters, to kind of coordinate, collaborate during these times as well. Next slide. And we have Jessica Anderson from Michigan, and she was the driving force behind the Bunny and Me Magically. And President Sarah wanted to give a huge shout out to her. She said she did a great job, and it wouldn't have run as smoothly if it weren't for Jessica. Next slide. Lee Snow from Georgia, he's the Georgia JC president-elect. He's also a program manager for JCI USA this year. And he's from the Columbus JCs, and he is just doing some phenomenal things. He really shows a lot of leadership and a lot of class. And if you ever talk to him, he is just very knowledgeable, and he is very energetic. And I see good things between him and Alan going forward this year and into next year. Next slide. We also had Courtney Manson from the Milledgeville, Georgia JCs. She was the top recruiter for Georgia in Q1. Next slide. And Elizabeth Ballo from Delaware. She was the 2018 Delaware State President, and she just celebrated her 15th year as a JC. So congratulations, Elizabeth, or Liz. And then just showcasing some of the pictures, and you can flip through these kind of fast. Some of the pictures from different events that the states had. And like I said, I was happy to be able to visit with the Georgia JCs before everything shut down, and I can't wait to visit more of my states once we're able to meet again personally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MVP Anna, for for all the work that you're doing, and helping us and learning for next year for awards, and keeping us on our feet regarding competitions coming up in the fall. Can I get a motion to approve the National Vice President reports?
Motion by Ohio.
A motion by Ohio. Do I have a second?
Second, Indiana.
A second by Indiana. Any discussion? All those in favor, click yes. All those opposed, click no. It looks like we have an overall majority of approval.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next, I'd like to call for a motion for a 5-minute comfort break. Just in case there's anyone that feels like they couldn't leave the screen to go use the restroom or get a drink of water or something. Minnesota motions. Can I get a second?
Second by Michigan.
Second by Michigan. So 5-minute comfort zone. We will be back at 3:02 p.m. or 4:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and we will finish out our meeting. And thank you so much for everyone's patience for today.
Please be reminded that we are broadcasting live on Facebook, so please keep your microphones muted, and please do not take your cameras with you to the restrooms.
Thank you very much for that good reminder. I need like a stretch break. All right, everybody. We're gonna start getting going here in a minute.
I didn't see him.
All right, everybody. Is our Chief of Finance, Anthony, here?
I am.
All right, Anthony, we are ready to hear the financial report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, JCI USA. I am pleased to give you a phenomenal report on the results of 2019 from a financial standpoint. And I'll start out with reminding this body that the line items that say board designated, all of those will add up to the board designated net assets in the equity section of our statement of financial position of $775,000. That is our contingency reserve that we invest on a regular basis to earn as much as we can for this body. And you see our assets grew from 1.21 million to 1.34 million, which is a very good sign. We also saw our liabilities going down from 262 to 177.8. Again, very good sign. The most impressive part that you'll see on the next slide once we get there is the without donor restrictions. At the end of 2018, we were at just over $180,000, and we were just shy at the end of 2019 at $388,000. So that is a very good sign, and we'll go to the next slide and we'll see why we've grown that line item so much. So you see our total revenue in 2018 was 748. We increased our revenue to almost 809. The majority of that increase was as a result of the membership meetings. We did, as a national organization, host 2 national meetings, and therefore we have greater revenue. Also included in that number is those individual members that took advantage of the payment plan to go to World Congress in 2019. So there is additional revenue in that category, which I'll also note there's additional expenses on the expense side. I do want to point out our personnel expense line item was down almost $78,000 because we went from a 2-person staff national headquarters to 1 interim executive director in 2019. So there was a significant savings in that budget as a result of that. Just a few line items to point out to you is the executive committee expenses. You see that there was an increase. The main items was a little over 26,000 in payments that we as a national organization made on behalf of our members that went to World Congress through that payment plan that we talked about. That was just over 26,000. And then also having an interim executive director that does live in the state of Michigan, but has responsibilities to be in St. Louis. So there was additional travel expenses associated with our interim executive director. And then on the member services line, you see that we did spend just over 44,000 compared to just shy of 35,000 that prior year. The main reason for that was we had 2 classes of fellows in 2019, the inaugural 2018, along with our 2019 class. And so therefore we saw additional expenses having 2 groups that were going through that 2-year program. We get down to the second to last line item where it says investment income. And in the past, I've spoken to the body in regards to how we as a national organization are investing our money. Most of it is very conservative, tied to specific interest rates. And as interest rates rise, our portfolio goes down in value. And so in 2018, we experienced that to a great extent. So that's why in 2018, we showed that we lost almost $26,000. Well, in 2019, we started seeing interest rates go down, and therefore our investments started to go up in value. And we had a phenomenal year on our investments of $57,582 of profit on our investments, which include the $775,000 for contingency reserve, along with our idle working capital. And IED Dawn and I work closely to monitor what cash is needed for ongoing operations and what is kind of set aside. We don't need it till a certain point in time, and we've made investments on short-term basis to maximize our return. So with that, I'd like to congratulate the 2019 President Tricia Beanie and her team on a phenomenal year in 2019. I am thrilled with the results of the finances for 2019. Just giving you kind of an update of where we are from our investment side for 2020. Back in 2015, under past President Jen Ray, we invested additional money. Actually, past President Fay approved it, but we ultimately invested $193,750 into 2 mutual funds. And in that year, they had approved the bylaw change required for us to actually invest in mutual funds. And we've held those investments up until this past Friday. The investment committee and finance committee both unanimously approved transitioning from a conservative growth fund and a balanced fund mutual fund into a JP Morgan large cap and growth and a large cap value fund on a 50-50 allocation. When we exchanged the original investments, we exchanged at a value of just over $221,000, and we invested 50% of that into each of those mutual funds I mentioned. And the investment advisor emailed me today to let me know that we did a very nice investment, because that $221,000 investment is now worth $227,000 in a matter of a day. I can't guarantee you that will continue, but I'm thrilled to report that we made $6,000 in less than a day. So from a financial position, I would say JCI USA is in a very strong financial position. And I think the 2019 Finance Committee, along with the 2020 Finance Committee, for all of their efforts and their commitment to the organization. Mr. President, I'll let you entertain a motion to approve the financial report. And then if there are any questions, I will answer them from there.
All right, team. Do we have a motion to approve the
California.
California motions? Do we have a second?
South Carolina.
South Carolina seconds. Any discussion?
Just a question on the reduction of the amount from JCI Canada. Is it on the numbers of the membership? Just to confirm.
Yeah, so basically JCI Canada and JCI USA have a very strong relationship. They have had some troubles in regards to membership, which certainly hurts their budget. But there were some communication problems with the previous executive director and JCI Canada. And because of our partnership and the amount of respect we have for each other as an organization, we agreed upon a lesser amount because of those miscommunications and the support that they weren't getting. So that was an agreement with last year's administration with JCI Canada. And that's really why I don't think we will see it go up to $12,000 in the near term. Unless we see a drastic change in JCI Canada's needs from the National Service Center of JCI USA. Great question. Thank you for that.
Any other additional questions? With none, I would ask all those in favor to click yes and all those opposed to click no. And it looks like we have approval of that emotion, that emotion. Thank you so much, Anthony. Everybody, Anthony works his tail off for us and has even turned down paid work to be able to support us through opportunities. And I can't thank this man enough for the time and energy and support he gives our organization every year. We appreciate you so much, Anthony, and thank you for providing that report.
Thank you, Mr. President. My pleasure.
All right. Next, we have Legal Counsel Serena.
Good afternoon, y'all. The Bylaws Committee met on January 31st, and we are reviewing a couple different policy and bylaws changes that will come up at the annual meeting in October. However, we did find policy 6.1 that has to deal with the joint meeting of the executive committee elect and the previous executive committee. The current policy states that this meeting shall be held prior to September 30th as determined by the president and the president-elect. And this is actually in conflict with our current bylaw that states that our annual meeting can be held in September or October. And as you know, our current annual meeting is to be held in October of this year. So the bylaws committee met, and we also met with the executive committee. And the new language that we're proposing should read, instead of prior to September 30th, that the meeting shall be held within 15 days of completion of the election of officers. So it actually removes any date restraint whatsoever, since that meeting cannot be held until the election of the officers is completed. So are there any?
So yeah, I guess we would
entertain a motion.
Yeah, we would entertain a motion to I can't even think of the word, to update this policy.
Louisiana motions to approve the proposed bylaw change.
All right, Louisiana second. Kentucky seconds. Any discussion or questions?
Just a point of clarification. This is a policy change, not a bylaw change, which means it can go into effect immediately, and it does not necessarily have to take effect January 1st. So this will be inclusive of this year's incoming board of directors, correct?
My apologies on that.
Correct.
Do I need to amend my motion?
No, I think that was just clarifying in case people were worried about it, like the way that our structure is on approving bylaws versus policies.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? All right, with that said, with that motion and second, can I have you click yes if you approve, or no if you say nay? And from the tallies, it seems that this motion is approved and the policy is updated. Thank you very much, Serena. Did you have anything else to state?
No, Mr. President, I don't. Thank you.
Well, Serena, just thank you for all of your time that you give. You're always available at a moment's notice, and you follow through 100% right away. And I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And thank you for all of your hard work for us behind the scenes.
Thank you.
All right. Next is a membership report from Membership Development Director Ross.
Thank you, President Justin. First of all, as we've gone forward with the JCI Empowers Me, Justin also appointed us with that responsibility too. So I wanted to share what empowers me with this organization. I am so thankful to be part of an organization that has resilience and camaraderie between the tough times that are going on. I know that the new normal, some of us are adjusting a little bit differently with that, but we all come together for the common good. And I love seeing the different initiatives that the states have. I love seeing us come together to host different socials, game nights, that type of thing. It's just really positive, and it not only helps our members, but it helps us grow as individuals as we change to the new normal. Next slide, please. So our successes so far, our first quarter membership was a success. We did have some concerns, and I know President Justin, Leadership Development Director Heather, Chapter Development Director Emily, and myself met with each of the state presidents a couple days shy of closeout. We went over some of those concerns with our state leaders, who were working really hard on the front lines to make sure that our membership numbers were coming in and the chapters were renewing. We did have a great success in first quarter. We did roll out some hardship items that allow our states and chapters to extend the closeout up to 90 days. The responsibility of payment is still there, obviously, but it gives that flexibility to those chapters who have members that are struggling or unemployed, just trying to focus on their lives individually outside of JC's. But like I said, we had a great closeout. I can't thank our state leaders, our membership leaders, our chapters enough for getting those numbers in. We had 496 new members this first quarter, with a change of membership being minus 629. I'll be sending out a second quarter number here shortly to the MVPs and Leadership Development Director Heather to share with the states. That way you all have that information and you can help work through second quarter. We do know that those concerns are there. Please reach out if you have any concerns from your chapters or you're hearing struggles. Again, we're here to help and be that resource as needed. So with that being said, we did have 9 states at growth for first quarter. So congratulations to Arkansas, California, Colorado, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nebraska, New Jersey, New York, and Washington. And then also Indiana. They were flat. Obviously, that is a celebration in itself. But keep up the great work. And like I said, we are here to help as much as we can. Next slide, please. Another way to celebrate is our top recruiters. So looking at this list, we have members from across the nation. We've got members who have recruited up to 9 members just from quarter one. So this is 2020 all the way up to the end of quarter one. I just wanted to showcase this. Please share this with your states and your chapter leaders and these members. They're doing a great job and they're recruiting even in this really tough time. So it's important not only in previous times where we didn't have to worry about going out and socializing, but also coming together and networking during this time. And again, being resilient and finding ways to help build our membership. Next slide. A couple of initiatives that have been going on that I've assisted with. MVP Margot and myself have taken over a weekly game night. We've been doing this on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We have about 20 to 25 people every night. Saturdays have typically been an Uno game, and then Tuesday nights we've been doing various games. We did do some Jackbox games, which are virtual games. Members seem to love it. We did have a special guest from Germany, and the time zone was like 7 hours ahead, so she stayed up past midnight to play Uno with us. So that was a really good, fun night. This generates a lot of excitement with our members, and this has also provided an opportunity for them to connect with national leaders and members from across the nation. We have a group of people that jump on pretty regularly, and this is a way for them to cope and stay positive within the COVID-19 pandemic. So Margot and myself will be continuing those, and if anybody has game night ideas, please let us know. Tonight's game night is a little bit earlier, and we're looking to get that 100-person mark. I know Jay mentioned it earlier. Something fun to add, this isn't a guarantee, but if some of you follow Brad Paisley on Instagram, he did offer his phone number for us to message, and he's crashing Zoom parties. So we're starting at 7 p.m. Central Time tonight, because from 7 to 8, he's doing a virtual pub crawl. While I wish I could guarantee that he's going to jump on, we're hopeful and excited if it happens. Again, hopefully we have a big group, but just a positive experience. Please come socialize and have a great time. Next slide, please. The other focus and initiative that I have this year is to continue the podcast that Chapter Development Director Emily started last year. So we have around 349 listeners on a weekly Tuesday podcast, approximately 40 listeners per week, and that list is growing. Our focus is to focus on upcoming events, member spotlights, and outstanding projects. This past week, I met with the leaders of Wyoming and talking about resiliency and how to stay connected with the challenging times virtually. I have a collaboration with JCI Canada, VP Sue, who oversees the podcast initiatives up there. We're going to be working together on a podcast and hopefully getting some other leaders involved with that as well. I know next week I will have MVP Margot and Mary Jo Moncheski from Indiana, who's going to talk about staying positive during this time and staying involved to network. So we have a lot of cool initiatives going through the year. Again, it's all about being resilient and staying together. So if you have any ideas or suggestions about the podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out. And like I said, I'll be reaching out to the state presidents and leaders for the second quarter to help with membership numbers as much as I can. And to report.
Thank you so much, Ross. I was asked does Brad Paisley have a hashtag, or if we all got on and we just all we took pictures in our cruise gear or something and said, we hope to see you at our 100+ Zoom call. Maybe there's a way that we could push and get his people to see us, but something for you to think about, get you and Heather together, start sharing. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, sharing those numbers. And to us, we're not looking for people as numbers. We're looking for people as people and quality people. And when we send numbers out, it's just for you to get an overall statistical view to strategize how to be better and to improve. It's not meant to throw something down our throats to try to recruit or any of that negative ways of recruiting. We truly just want to share the JC's movement, and Ross's podcasts are amazing. Please check them out. Share them with your chapters, because our members are traveling, they're driving all the time, and this is something you can download to your phone and listen in your car, and I've done that quite a few times now. So thank you so much for these initiatives. Next up, we have Chapter Development Director, Emily.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Emily Knock, and I am the 2020 Chapter Development Director. Just asked us to all say about something that JCI has empowered us to do. And I know over the years, there's been so many things that JCI has empowered me with. Most recently, it would be just getting through this COVID-19 epidemic. I can't say how thankful I am for the network of friends that I've made through this organization and the virtual opportunities that they've been able to offer to all of us, so that it makes it just a little bit easier to make it through this situation. Get the next slide. So as Chapter Development Director, I am in charge of chairing the Chapter Development Committee. We are here to offer assistance at the chapter level. We help develop tools and resources for our chapters to succeed. And specifically, we are dealing with extensions, chapters within their first 3 years, rebuilds, and relaunches. And we have added in the under 10 chapters, which I'll talk about in just a little while. Right, next slide. On the committee, we have 4 members other than myself. First of all, we have Neil Fitzgerald, who is our Metro and Extensions Director. He is helping, he's going to be your first point of contact for any new chapters that you want to extend within your states. And he's also specifically working with chapters in metropolitan areas. That's going to be areas where there's a population of 100,000 or more. Then we have the first year administrator, Eric Hyatt from JCI, Illinois. He is in charge of the chapters after they have chartered in their first year. What we kind of found is that while we were doing all these great things to help chapters get started, we were kind of leaving them on their own a little bit after they got chartered. So he is going to be there specifically to help them through that first year. And then after that, for years 2 and 3, we have our year 2 and 3 admin from JCI, Michigan, Stephen Pappas. He's going to be there again to be that resource for them, to help cheer them on when things get a little more difficult after sometimes all the excitement of being brand new wears off a little bit. And then our final member from the Tennessee JCs is Kaylee Terry. She is our rebuild administrator. So she's there to help the chapters that really want to rebuild their organization, that are struggling with their membership a little bit. She's there again to be that resource for them and to help them out. Next slide. Okay, so some of the things that we've been up to so far, we're really trying to move towards a focus on quality and not quantity. So what that means is we want to make sure that these chapters that we're starting, that they have the support that they need to be successful. So with that, we're looking at revamping a lot of things. We're connecting with our state presidents and chapters. We've had several conference calls already this year to see what ways we can assist. We are here just to help the chapters, not to interfere in any way. We're reviewing and revamping current resources and marketing materials. We also have a great Facebook group, which is under JCI USA Chapter Development. If you haven't joined it, it's open to all the JCI USA members. It's a great way for us to share materials and also for chapters to exchange ideas. Because sometimes the best ideas that you get are from stealing them from other chapters. So I always encourage people to share what they're doing in their current states and chapters. We've also been assisting with JCI.cc access. We have so many wonderful resources in our JCI library, but if you can't get into JCI.cc, you obviously can't get access to them. So that's been something that we've been trying to help some of the members with. along with in terms of with Dawn has been a great help in that for us as well. We've also been setting up chapter trainings and collecting PMGs to share with new chapters. This is something that's really requested, especially with the newer chapters. We need easy projects that they can run. So if you have a project that your chapter is currently doing and it's something that doesn't require a lot of time and resources, please send it to either Neil or myself so we can kind of get a library together that we can share with these newly formed chapters and some of our struggling chapters as well. Next slide. Okay, so some of the things that are in the works. We are expecting to get a rush on extensions in Q3, Q4. We think that when we finally get out of this, people are going to be looking for something that they can connect through. There's going to be a great time that we're going to be able to have in-person meetings again. So we're trying to do a lot of the planning and things to prepare for that now. We are going to be doing a targeting in metro areas. Neil is going to be looking at all the metropolitan areas, ways that he can help with the chapters that are there. He's going to establish one-page chapter plans with the current chapters that are kind of small and struggling to help them out in those areas. We're going to continue with the training. Included in that, we are working on some new how-to guides that we are going to try and do in quick videos. Video seems to be something kind of a preferred method of communication, especially with some of the younger generations. So we're going to try and come out with those new materials. And we are also working on revamping the chapter in a box. I don't know if any of you remember this, we had it a few years ago. It was a great resource that was just a Dropbox we could send to our chapters that had some of the more essential documents that they might need to succeed. So we're working on updating that. We should have that available for all of our chapters very soon. Next slide. Now the under 10 chapters. Before first quarter closeout, we had 27 chapters that were under 10 members. With our current bylaws, they would have lost their charter. So we were able to come up with a plan that the bylaws did allow for our National President Justin to give those chapters a 90-day extension. So every chapter that was under 27 members was extended so that they did not lose their charter at first quarter closeout. We have a goal to be able to save at least 50% of those chapters. I would love to save every single one of them, but obviously some of them, there might be problems that we're not able to help in a short period of time. Some of them may be better off being rebuilt, relaunches instead of actually helping with continuing on with that current chapter. So as part of this plan, we're going to be assigning a mentor to all of these chapters that are under 10. We have had a couple actually that have already come up above that 10 chapter mark. Minnesota, I just have to give a huge shout out. They had a chapter that went all the way up to 20 members, which is fantastic. I'm a firm believer that any chapter, as long as you have at least one member that is dedicated to that chapter and wants to see it survive, can be saved. So we're going to be working with these chapters to develop plans of action. We are going to provide some additional resources to them. We will make sure that all the state presidents are reached out to first. We've already started reaching out to a few of them. And some of these chapters do not have state presidents, but we will make sure that the states and the MVPs are kept involved in every step of the process. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me on that. And then we have some reason to celebrate in first quarter. We were able to charter our first chapter. So I would like to welcome JCI San Francisco. They were able to charter just before the COVID-19 outbreak. And even despite that, they've been doing a fantastic job. They've been hosting a lot of our virtual trainings, and they've been opening them up to members all over the country. Just wonderful things I think are going to come of this chapter. And they're a great example of really how you can make the best of the situation that's going on. So welcome JCI San Francisco, and great job JCI California. Are there any questions? All right, well, feel free to reach out to me at any time. There's my contact information. Always here to help, and just let me know if there's anything I can do. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Emily. Emily came to me earlier this year with her plan to break out opportunities for our members to have different contacts for chapters in different states of existence. And so it's just been really exciting to be able to offer that. So thank you, Emily, for all of your hard work you're doing. And thank you, Neil Fitzgerald, for the work you're doing with extensions and metro development. All right, so we've got those reports done. And so now we'll go into old business. So first on the docket is the North American Academy. For Jay and I to touch on. This event was something new that I had approached Heather Danley and Jay Johnson after Stefan from Canada and I went and had our Japan experience, Japan Academy, and we wanted to bring that experience to JCI USA. So, because whenever you travel outside of the States, people want to know, where are the JCI USA members? We want to meet them. And it's just, we have so many events and activities go on at our local, state, and national level that it's hard for people to see, to budget vacation time and other things and finances to get to those. So I thought, well, why not bring the foreign JCs to the United States? And so that was kind of the birth of Academy. So then we held this event. We were able to get a $10,000 grant from the Development Council with JCI, and we had roughly 70 members attend this academy and had the most life-changing experience they could have ever had. And this is an empowered, crazily empowered group of young people that still chat daily in a WhatsApp group and on a social Facebook page. And this is an event that I highly recommend and hope we continue this event because of the life-changing moments and experiences that have come with it. And people truly understand that JCs is about the personal side of things, achieving your own hopes and dreams, and utilizing the JCs as a framework to get you there. And when you're all helping each other out to develop and achieve your personal goals, together anything is possible. Everyone's winning, everyone's achieving, and that is empowerment. And so that was the Academy experience, and I can't wait to continue pulling that first group to see, to make sure the next event is bigger and better than the one before. Jay, did you have anything to add about Academy?
No, I think you covered it, Mr. President.
All right, thank you so much. Then, and always with questions, you can ask us about anything. Then next is the 2019 year-end cruise update on refunds. Don?
Yeah, thanks. As you know, the cruise has been canceled and we're here and not on a cruise ship, unfortunately, enjoying the sun and the warm weather. We have collected information from all of you, all of the participants. So I want to thank you, the state presidents, for helping to get that information out and track down some of the straggling members right there at the end when we were trying to collect it in a timely manner. We have submitted all of that information to 3D Cruise, our cruise partner that helped book our group cruise, and they have submitted all of our information to Carnival. So all of the refunds or the future cruise credit, whatever you chose, has been submitted to Carnival. Unfortunately, Carnival cannot give us an estimate as to when it will be processed. Their system was not built for cancellations, and so they actually have a capacity issue in that their system as it exists right now can only handle so many refunds or cancellations per day. And so they're processing these kind of in order of being received as they're kind of queued up in their. So please be patient. It could take up to 90, or I'm not sorry, not 90 days. It could take up to 30 days for that refund to show up. You also may see two different payments. One for your registration price and the second one for any additional on-board packages, such as the drink package or the Wi-Fi package, or any excursions that you had already purchased. So if you don't see everything in the first payment, just know that that may come in two different payments. I'm also keeping an eye on, of course, the JCI USA card that had expenses on it for the executive committee. So I should see when those come through as well. And, you know, if I see them, I'll try to send a message out that yours should be processing as well. And if you guys could help, if you do start to see your refund, you know, just if you could let me know, that would also be really helpful. Kind of like people have been sharing on Facebook with the stimulus payments, that, hey, I saw that Karen Spilsbury from California posted the other day, hey, I received mine So again, just kind of gives people a heads up that it really does still exist and it is coming, because there are a lot of questions as to when it's coming and when will that money show up. So the other thing that I wanted to pass along is a couple people asked about what if I had to get a new credit card, either my credit card expired or I had to cancel it for fraud reasons or something like that. Unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do to change the method of payment. Again, it's all a systematic thing. It's the way that the system is built on Carnival's end. And so what will happen is that Carnival will process the refund back to the original form of payment. There's a couple of scenarios that could happen on the back end of that. If your credit card does not exist anymore, if it's with the same bank, your bank or the credit card company may recognize that refund or payment and transfer it to your existing account. If you don't have an account at all with that bank or that credit card anymore, again, the credit card company may recognize that and issue you a refund check through the mail. The third scenario is that that bank or that credit card company will send a message back to the Carnival saying, this doesn't exist anymore, and will reverse the refund. In that case, then Carnival will issue a physical check back to you, the original payee. Of course, that process will take longer than the refund directly back to the credit card. So if you believe that you are in that situation or you have a member who is in that situation, again, it helps to kind of flag them a little bit. So if you could let me know, and I have received a couple of emails with that specific question already. But again, if you do know that you're in that situation, just let me know. And again, there's nothing I can do about it, but we can just kind of flag it in the system to say, hey, there might be something that happens with this refund. Are there any other questions that I haven't answered in regards to the refunds? And I can't see the comments at the moment, so Justin or Jay, if you could read them off, if there's any questions posted.
Yep. Let's see. It was noted that somebody got an email saying they did process a refund for the packages that were purchased. And if you paid, the question is, if you paid the deposit with one credit card and the balance with another, will it be refunded to the most recent card or will it be a split payment?
It will be a split payment. So whatever amount you paid on whatever card will be refunded back to the same form of payment.
Are there any other questions that need to be answered on this?
Thank you, Don.
All right. And
yeah.
I just want to thank everybody for their patience. Justin and I were back and forth on the phone every day, every other day, sometimes 3 times a day with 3D Cruise and at Carnival with how everything was changing daily and sometimes hourly. So I appreciate your patience and your assistance going through this process.
Yes, I was gonna add to that. Yeah, just thank you everybody, and thank you, Don, for all that work spent going through that and everyone's patience through this. I'm just so glad that in the end we're able to give back 100% refunds to our members and to the chapters that were investing in their members to go on to the conference. One other thing about Year in Cruise, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Leadership Development Director Heather. She is the one that took opinions and advice and pushed for an initiative like today, despite the fact that we couldn't be on this cruise. And Heather, I'd like to just give you an opportunity to share any information about today's events or anything else that you and the state presidents have talked about or shared.
Thank you, President Justin. We all knew going into this that it was going to be a day of grace and kindness and gathering. And I know, as you heard from our team, that we're all empowered today to see our state presidents, to see the activity that we have on our Facebook page, the engagement that we had with our speaker, Annie, this morning. So, thank you to the state presidents and to the members of this organization that just rolled with the punches. And I do believe that things went off really well today. And I'm here to tell you that we will make sure St. Louis goes off even better. We will have a lot of fun surprises in store for us when we meet again in person. So thank you to my fellow team members that, all learned together today how to virtually have lots of meetings and training. So thank you guys for your time.
Well, again, Heather is leading the state presidents as their leadership development director. And I had to give her a shout out and a thanks because of all the work she's doing behind the scenes. I'm like, y'all don't even know what happens behind the scenes, but we work so hard for you guys, and everyone deserves a pat on the back and a huge shout out. So thank you. So the next item is 2020 Conference of the Americas. Essentially, the 2020 Conference of the Americas has been canceled this year and pushed all the way into next summer, essentially in 2021. They're going to hold it in Panama again because they were looking for a space in 2021 anyways amongst the Americas, and Panama really wants to host this conference. So they're going to move forward with that. Now, because of it being such a huge conference, they had money invested in things. And so now they're not going to be offering full refunds until January 1st of 2021. So at the end of this year is when they will start offering those rebates or transfers of registration, and then dates it's like February 1st and March 1st are dates that you can get 50% of refund and 25% of refund back on that. But they're definitely look forward to just keep your registration going. Dawn is also in touch with the ONTO individuals to make sure that they're getting their funds back. Or pushing them into World Congress to see if they can continue their investment in regional JC events. Don, I'm not sure if they had chosen the date in 2021. Have you? There's so many communications going on. I'm not sure on that exact date.
Maybe, but I don't remember either. We can look for it and then.
Right. As we go through the rest of this, I might be able to find it in my notes. But essentially, it's being pushed to 2021. There's still right now, even today, like all of the submissions for awards and competitions are getting extended from the April 20th to April 27th. And they're going to still do some things digitally and online, and the national presidents are going to meet and have our business meeting. All those details are still being fine-tuned, and I'm trying to keep getting that information and sharing that once I have it. And so again, it's another situation of just being graceful and respectful and patient, and we will try to work through this. I've talked to Lisa and the competitors that were going to conference and trying to keep them in the loop as well. I want to make sure I read if there were any other thoughts on that. So that is what is happening with Conference of the Americas. And next is the JCI USA annual meeting with Don and myself. So Don, did you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the annual meeting happening October 15th through the 18th. This week, the last few weeks, Don and I had we've worked up a rough agenda and registration costs, and I shared it with the executive team, and they wanted to take a little more time with it and hone in some stuff so that we can put out the best registration possible with the best event happening. So I have a small committee moving forward over the next week. They're going to present to me on Friday. And then hopefully within the next week or so, we will be able to launch an official registration that is ready to go, and that will be a good solution for everyone involved, because I know that after this COVID event, we are going to be craving an opportunity to come together and celebrate together. And it is going to be epically crazy, but so amazing to be able to come together. Do we have anything to add on to that, Dawn?
I don't have anything else, no.
Okay, are there any questions, any additional questions we could ask on this call? And then I can make sure that this committee is thoughtful and aware of that. Okay. All right. Oh, we have a message. Sometimes. And then regarding 2019 awards, the awards committee has met in the last 2 weeks. They're really focused on finalizing judging so that we can get submissions over to Conference of the Americas, and we're kind of just we're submitting those regardless if people are aware or not. Because you can actually enter a lot of candidates essentially into that for the different topics. The group is looking through the list of awards and splitting it up to see if there's some opportunities to give out awards digitally this spring and in early summer, and then give out awards at a special opportunity and time in St. Louis as well during that event at Celebration of the Century. And for those, anyone would be, we're calling the fall event is Celebration of the Century as a full event because it is 100 years since our organization was started as a nation. Any other questions? Yeah, so my hope is that registration will be open in the next 2 weeks. We're just going to finalize some numbers and some information and to push it out so it'll be available by the end of the month is our hope. Thank you, Terry. Any other questions?
There is a hand up from Monica from Louisiana.
Hey, thanks. I mean, could we consider possibly acknowledging these awards a lot sooner? I mean, can we do it in a virtual thing? I know it's hard. The circumstances are weird. I know we've kind of been through similar stuff before with convention being canceled when a hurricane was coming to New Orleans many, many years ago. I mean, is there a way that we can still do virtual awards or at least put up who the finalists are for each category, even if you mention it later and give them out later, but at least know who's maybe in the running for these awards?
Right, and these are exact things that that everyone on the awards committee has been discussing and bringing up. We were just literally going through which awards that we would want to promote now and which awards we'll save for the fall, and possibly look at ways to kind of highlight what's could be announced in the fall too, but not give away like the full answers to add to that anticipation. I understand everyone's concern and desire to know that. I know that this is an opportunity right now to recruit people and to get PR by being able to share that you have award-winning projects or these award-winning members. So these are all things being taken into consideration with the 2019 team and past President Tricia, so that we can make sure that we're doing justice for those awards.
And when can we expect some sort of follow-up and answer on when a timeline of how y'all plan to roll this out?
Past President Tricia, would you be able to add some insight onto this?
Sure. So we have had a meeting and I've got to finish some things up. I know we want to get it done and get things out, but to be completely honest, I've been covered up with work ever since this pandemic has rolled out, being at the bank, getting all the loans done and everything. So honestly, it's not been on the front of my radar, only because work has definitely had me covered up every day of the week. So otherwise it could have been done if we didn't have the rates and all the SBA stuff and everything. But I mean, hopefully we can get it to it now. I think things have slowed up a little bit unless SBA rolls out more money. So, I mean, I would say in a month we could have some stuff, like kind of my vision of it, and I don't want to take away from Justin or anything because it's a team decision. We could maybe do some like the top nominees or something, and then we could do that or something and then announce them in St. Louis because it would get people to the convention. And then you could spotlight those awards and maybe do like a booth showing like, oh, this is the project and this is what we did to give ideas to everybody else. So that's kind of like what I'm seeing, but I don't want to just make the call because it's Justin's convention, so I don't want to step on his feet. So we've just got to work together at it.
IPP Tricia and National President Justin, this is Heather. And just some questions because I have gotten a little bit of feedback from the 2020 presidents. Is there any way that we could, and it's kind of a split, is there any way we could maybe do a poll for the 2019 presidents and the 2020 presidents to see if they want some virtuals rolled out now or if they would like to wait till St. Louis or till October?
Right. And the 2019 presidents that I have talked to, they all were okay with waiting till October. So that's their verdict on it. I know that I think you said some of the 2020 wanted out now, so I guess we got to see what to do.
Okay, thank you.
My hope and I guess my I can't promise anything, but my hope is that I would like to know within the next 2 weeks, at least some sort of announcement of because I believe we will end up giving out some awards this spring. So an announcement of when that type of evening would happen and what to expect with it. It'll just involve the awards committee having a second meeting and coming back with the information requested from the first meeting. And then we'll be able to roll out some answers to the state presidents from 2019 and 2020. We can definitely do the polling of people, but I do, in the end, it's the members' opinion and what they want. And it's just clear to me that there is a desire to receive some recognition and happiness right now based off of that. And then also, really good recognition in October as well. It all kind of falls down to the amount of time available throughout. And I think that there's a great compromise that we can come together on. And I think we should be able to announce something in the next 2 weeks. I'll just make sure and work with Tricia to kind of hold to that timeline to come together with the awards group and figure out what we're going to officially do so that the information's out there and we're ready to roll with the punches and move forward. Thank you so much, State President Monica. Okay, more talk about the poll. Okay. We will continue on that conversation. Next is 2020 World Congress on 2.
All right, thank you, President Justin. We do have an on-to package. It was posted on our on the website as well as on Facebook about a month ago. Understandably, with the current situation, it hasn't gotten a lot of traction, but I have received 2 members that have already submitted their on-to package or their on-to application. So it is out there. I know it's hard to think about what's going to happen in November when we don't even really know what's going to happen or think about what's going to happen next week. But it's also, I think, a good opportunity to say, hey, we know we do want to start to travel again, and this is going to be an amazing opportunity. So if you do have, if you as a state president are interested in going to World Congress, this is a great way to do it on a budget. The original deadline to submit your registration to me was the 15th. However, I can still accept them through the end of the month if you want to have 6 payments, which will start on May 1st would be the first payment through October 1st. So May, June, July, August, September, October would be your 6 payments. If you prefer to do it over 5 payments or 4 payments or whatever, we can we can still accept them as they come in, but it just makes it a little bit easier when we put them all in as a group. If this is something that you think you would be interested in, but can't necessarily commit to financially right now, that's fine too. Just give me a heads up. So again, we can kind of keep that list. And when I'm talking with JCI about purchasing the block of registrations for JCI USA, I have a more realistic estimate of the number of members that we might have as well. So any questions about onto Yokohama? And it is still happening as planned. There has been no communication from JCI or intent at this point to change the dates or postpone World Congress.
Just so you know, World Congress, my vision of being able to travel internationally, I always wanted to go to Ireland or New Zealand to be my first international travel, but my actual first ended up being Japan a few years back with World Congress. And it turned out to be one of the coolest experiences of my life. The Japanese culture will blow your mind, and they're just a wonderful society of kind-hearted people that will drop everything to go out of their way to help a stranger. And that was seen over and over and over again. And so I can't share how much Japan is an amazing country. They have an amazing delegation, and they are people to be your friend for the rest of your life. So keep this on your mind. And if it's something you're thinking about, reach out to Dawn or myself, and we will help figure out how to get you to World Congress. So President Dell, she mentioned that JCI Hawaii will be sending a huge delegation over there. And there's even like looking at flights that you would go to Hawaii to meet Hawaii JCs and then go on over to Japan with them. So it's just another fun opportunity. JCs is about offering opportunities to better our life experience and to help each other out. So just reach out and have fun and make it work. So thank you. Next on here is Interim Executive Director Dawn's report.
All right, thanks, Justin. And again, yeah, the point that you mentioned about Hawaii, if you're afraid of the 12-hour flight to Tokyo, yeah, just take a 6-hour flight to Hawaii and then take another 6-hour flight to Tokyo. So it's a pretty easy flight and a great excuse to go to Hawaii if you've never been there before. Okay. On my report, again, I've got a couple of administrative things to talk to you about. First, I actually have 2 corrections to the under 20 invoice list that I went over with you at the beginning of the meeting. Nebraska, I had one that I hadn't noted yet. So you actually only have 2 chapters that have outstanding invoices, and Virginia, I had 1 check for you as well. So you only have 2 chapters with an outstanding invoice. So I apologize for the oversight or not mentioning that previously. I've been working on trying to update and make sure we have correct information for all of our local chapters, both in JC Member as well as on the jci.cc website. With the of online trainings that we've been doing over the last month, we've been seeing some of the official JCI courses being ran. And as Emily mentioned, she's been working, one of her initiatives is helping to get people access to jci.cc. And as I mentioned this a little bit when we met at State President's Retreat in December, but the jci.cc database is designed to support the authority and the autonomy of a local chapter and the local chapter president in managing their members and their member database. So there is no way to approve or activate a member profile except with a local chapter president in the system. So I have gone through the entire JC member database and the jci.cc database, and I've noted who is in the system, who is in self-registered status. I have updated in JCI.cc all local presidents that I could that had an active chapter or that had an active profile. If you have a chapter president that doesn't know, that has an active profile or doesn't know how to log in, let me know, because I can look at their profile and see what their email is, and that would be their login into JCI.cc as jcmember.com. Whatever email they have with their profile, it becomes their login. That list had been emailed out to the entire executive team, and so I know the NVPs were going through and with their respective state presidents to share that list and update our information. And so if your NVP has not contacted you yet, if you could help kind of put together that information or even be proactive and contact me with that information, that would be really helpful as well. And on that same line, we found some chapters that are still in the JC member database that have 0 members. And so again, just trying to make sure that we have the most up-to-date information. And so if you have a chapter that has dropped or closed in the last 6, 9 months or year, it probably has not been updated in the system. And so I need to know that so that we can officially delete them and they're not in the system anymore. When you do have issues with JCI.cc, again, feel free to reach out to myself, to Emily, to Neil. Between the 3 of us, we've kind of gotten pretty good at troubleshooting and figuring out in a pinch if we do need to approve somebody right away so that they can register for a JCI training. We can generally find somebody in the JCI.cc database that we can temporarily name as local president of that chapter to get somebody else activated and get them in working. I am going to take the list that we have and try to work with JCI in a large lump sum to say, okay, these are all of our members that are in the database in a self-activated status that are local presidents. Please activate them and list them as local president. So again, the information, the accuracy of the information in jcmember.com is important to help make sure that the accuracy of the information in jci.cc. A couple of other things, despite the stay-at-home order, of course, I'm not able to travel to St. Louis and go to our headquarters office. We do still have mail coming to the office, and there is one member from the JCI staff who is coming into the office and checking the mail once a week. And they're calling me and letting me know if there's anything of importance, and then physically mailing it up to me. So for example, last week in the mail, there were 2 checks, physical checks from chapters that got mailed to the JCI headquarters office. And then Earl Stoyer from JCI headquarters is the one who has been going in and checking the mail. And he put those 2 checks in an envelope and mailed them up to me so that I could process them and try to deposit them through the mobile banking app from our bank in the St. Louis area. If you have a chapter that is going to be physically mailing me a check, that's fine. We can still process that, of course. Just kind of give me a heads up so again, we can look for it in the mail. Alternatively, you can always process payments through e-check, so they can still pay with a check, but do it virtually through JC Member. If it's not for actual members, if it's, for example, for an under 20 payment, they can go to that make a non-member payment button on the login screen of jcmember.com. It's the blue button on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I just ask that whatever you put in the memo line can easily identify for me whatever that payment is for. You can submit ambassadorship payments that way as well. I have received a couple of ambassador applications in the mail or in my email. And again, they will be processed. I'm just kind of holding them because I can't print them or get the ambassador pin. And I know you guys aren't meeting to actually present them right now anyway. but you can still go ahead and submit those if you have them. The same with Senate applications. I believe that JCI is still processing Senate applications right now. I haven't received any, but again, if you do, just kind of give me a heads up so I know that they're either coming in the mail or coming in my email. You can submit payments for those online as well. For the US portion of the payment, you can submit it through that non-member payment on the login screen of JC Member. And for the JCI portion of the payment, you can actually go to the JCI store, and there is a senatorship option to purchase a senatorship in the JCI store, and you can submit that electronic payment to JCI. There will be a mailing or I think a mailing fee that you don't need to worry about because obviously it's within the US. So there's not an additional international mailing fee for senatorship applications in the US. I think that is all that the other thing, an initiative that we started working on last year, and then it kind of got put on the back burner just because there were a lot of other things we were trying to clean up that will be coming up here in the next couple of months. Once a year, the IRS sends out a list of all of the chapters that are under the kind of tax exempt status of, or not tax exempt status, but the nonprofit status of JCI, and where we fall in the employee identification number. And there are several, well, not several, there were a lot of chapters last year that we noticed that had not been filing their annual reports with the IRS and were in non-compliant status. And so essentially they weren't being recognized as an official organization within, as a nonprofit under that status. And so Anthony and I had kind of gone through that list and started working through a few of them. And again, it kind of got put on the back burner, but that will be, I should be getting that new list again. And we will be coming to you as state presidents for help in that respect as well, to again make sure that our chapter list is accurate, that our members have important information. They need that information for sometimes for donor requests, for contracts, for insurance purposes. I receive several requests throughout the year. Hey, can I have a letter of good standing saying that we fall under your IRS umbrella? And to be able to issue those letters, we need to make sure that they actually are in good standing in that whole process. So that's the important part of that will be coming out, and we'll be asking you state presidents for help in updating that administrative information from your chapters. I think that's all for me. Are there any questions? All right, that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Next, Deputy National President remarks from Jay Johnson.
Greetings, everyone. So thank you so much for your patience and for your grace as we have been navigating this. Thank you for some of the kind remarks and everything that have come through the chat. I appreciate that very much. This has been a very engaging and fun experience on some level, and definitely something that is a learning opportunity. So with that being said, I do want to encourage you to take this time to engage in opportunities where you can, and with the acknowledgement that there are a lot of essential workers out there who are putting 16 hours a day in. So with that being said, that's fully acknowledged and recognized. But if you have the opportunity to truly take a step back at this time and to look at where you're at in life and where you want to go, this is that really nice opportunity to develop yourself, to re-engage with old behaviors that you want, to stop behaviors that you don't want, and to really just empower yourself to move to that next level. Something that we obviously really pushed heavily at the North American Academy, but nobody could have predicted that we would have been in this scenario right now. With that being said, using that to the best possible advantage. One thing that I would like to remind you is that if you are looking for some different training opportunities, JCI USA has partnered with a free online training program, which is the JCIUSA.academy. If you go to JCIUSA.academy/empower, and I'll post that link, you have access to all kinds of exclusive podcasts, video training, as well as resources that will help you to navigate even things like Zoom. There's tutorials in there. So there's a lot of opportunity on there. That is something that we have worked as JCI USA to make a connection for all of our members. If you don't do the /empower, it costs $90 a month. So please make sure that you put the /empower. This is a benefit to you as a member, that you get access to this amazing content for absolutely free. So please take advantage of that. Again, I'll post that link in content in comments, but take this moment to really truly engage yourself, give yourself that grace, and continue to be the amazing leaders that you are. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Deputy National President Jay, and thank you for moderating this event and making it go pretty flawlessly considering what could have happened. I was just given a heads up in case I know South Carolina had mentioned about awards. I am working with past President Tricia to put a survey together for our 2019 and 2020 leaders to go through that, to figure out that direction. Also, I just want to give another huge shout out to my Chief of Staff, Krista Schaefer. She is another way in the background person doing a ton of things, communicating, gathering information, shirt sizes, print things, everything we could ask for. And she does that all, and she goes above and beyond. And she's also that person that our team members can go to and vent and share information and just make amazing. She's just an amazing support person, and I knew she would be when I asked her to fill that role. So thank you so much, Krista, for everything you do. This moment in history, this great pause that I mentioned, it is changing our lives like nothing has ever before. And I really want you as leaders to really try to work through the fear and anxiety that comes with this, and really support our chapter presidents and their leaders and the leaders on your state teams to think through that and to look at the opportunities that can happen out of this, and when those negative things happen, be there for them, supporting them with your kind words, with your inspiring thoughts, and help. We can just help each other through this. I've shared it a few times before, but the Jenny in Sheridan, her chapter, they were trying to figure out if they were going to do an event or not when all this pandemic stuff was really starting to hit us hard in the country. And her leaders really rallied behind her and said that they wanted to continue doing it. And she, just as a leader, I know where she was feeling like, am I making the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? And in the end, we're JCs. We have the experience and everything we've gone through, and this is the time where we have to trust our gut and just make decisions. And I promise you, the decision you're making is not the wrong decision. It's the right decision because you have a gut check, a mental check. You have the experience. You were put into this role for a reason, and I'm just so honored and proud of all of you on this call and who aren't on this call, who are going through this experience together with us, each experiencing your own heartaches, your own challenges, some so extreme, and my heart pours out to you, and others less. But in the end, it's an issue for us internally and something we have to deal with. And I'm right there with you. But we will get through this, and life will get great again, and we will be able to continue on with a new normal. But like I said earlier too, question what you want to be your normal. Don't think that the crazy, busy, no time for anything way that life used to be has to be the way we go back to. Make your normal, make your own new normal, essentially. And with that, I'm gonna leave it short because we've been on this. This has been such a great day, and sometimes I talk and talk, and it's not even necessary. I thank you, Annie Woods, for helping us kick off the day. Thank you to Jeremy Gordet for sharing self-care and how to be resilient. That's so important for each of us as individuals. Thank you to this executive team doing the breakout sessions and offering these opportunities for our members. Thank you to the executive team for offering all of the fun social and engagement opportunities daily that we do these days. It's so important for our own mental health, no matter how strong we thought we were through this, and our mental health was. So again, and thank you for everyone being patient on this board of directors call today that went over an hour and 15 minutes, but it was worth it because I love all your faces. And I, again, just so proud to work with all of you. Always continue to ask this team questions for support. Advocate for yourself. Don't feel like life, don't immediately jump to a conclusion of blame like we talked about earlier. Go fight for yourself and come talk to me, come talk to your MVPs, talk to our appointees, go talk to somebody and say, this is what I heard, this is what's going on. Is this true? Like, can we go around, can we like figure out a way to bend the rules around it or to make something happen? And that's just the way that I live life. I believe that anything is possible. I believe that JCI has empowered me like no other organization, and I don't believe that anything exists like this in the world. And so we are the JCs. We of all people are here together, and we'll get through this pandemic like no other group. And we have an opportunity, just like they did 100 years ago, to come out of a pandemic and light the world on fire with empowerment and getting young people to jump on board, support their communities, all while supporting their own personal vision and dream for their lives. Thank you so much. And so with that, I'm gonna call for an adjournment.
California motions.
Wisconsin seconds.
All right. Was that California was the motion?
Yeah, California motions to adjourn.
Okay. California motions, Wisconsin seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor, click yes. All those opposed, click no. The yeses have it. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Come to game night. We want 100 people on there, and I can't wait to continue working with you. Let's connect, continue doing amazing, great work with JCs, and push this movement beyond our wildest dreams. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.